to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome into the Annie Fry Show. Happy Friday. I'm very happy to be able to say that to you today. I don't know. I feel as though I'm wildly unprepared for this show, mostly because everything that I could talk about today just makes me mad. And I don't want to make you mad. I'm so tired. I mean, seriously, the news cycle has lost its mind. We've lost our minds. When you go through each and every day and you see the things that I don't have to, I guess. The things that I choose to talk to you about are the things that seem to rise to the top. This gets just to the point where I can't handle it anymore, which is probably bad for my profession. So today I got coffee. I took Katie coffee to the station just as a warm, happy Friday. How much of that coffee? Okay, it's a venti, skinny. She's like, I said, I'm going to bring you coffee. What can I bring you? And she said, well, what do you get? And then she later confessed to me that she said, what do you get? Because she doesn't understand how to order coffee at Starbucks.
Not a clue. Not a clue. I don't know how to order anything but black coffee at Starbucks.
Put that coffee up to your face so people can compare the size, like close to your face. Okay. No. So I mean, it's the size of your head.
It is huge. And I've taken a few swigs of it.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit scared because
I said,
as you know,
I want you to finish this whole thing before the show because then I won't have to do anything.
As you know, I can't tolerate caffeine.
Had 25% of it.
And I'm already feeling good.
For the record, it's an iced, skinny caramel macchiato.
Gosh, and it says that first sip feeling. And you know what? That's the truth. That's the darn truth. I'm like, I think I'm in way over my head. I hope so. What's the small? What's the small at Starbucks? Tall?
Obviously.
Yeah, I should have gotten that.
Tall grande venti. No, this is what I get. This is a meal for me. And it's what I need to get through the day. And I thought it would be more like show prep. If I spent my morning giving Katie a bunch of coffee, that would equate the amount of research and reading that I would normally do that I don't want to do right now because you've all lost your minds. I invested in sweet coffee.
Yes, it was a good investment.
Katie, you drink a lot of coffee. Are you the only person in the country who's never ordered from Starbucks?
I have ordered.
Oh, there's
from
a lot of people who haven't ordered from Starbucks, and for that exact reason. Because it's intimidating.
Because it's intimidating.
It's so intimidating, and I have ordered from Starbucks, and it's more than a handful of times, but I don't do it a lot. And the people that do it a lot, they know their order. Like they know what they want. The minute that they get to that screen, they have it ready to go. It's very specific. And every time I go, I'm like, the black coffee, because I get nervous. It's just like whenever I go to Aldi and like I put my things up on
I was going to say the same thing. Amazing.
I put my things up on the counter and the people at Aldi are like, let's go.
Go.
And it's
a very intimidating process.
Like, where are we going? What is the rush? And that's how I feel at Starbucks. So luckily
that's how I feel when I go to the bar. I'm serious. It's an intimidating situation. I'm like, I want whiskey and water and a lime.
Please.
There's probably a name for that. I mean, not right now, but 57 days is that's due date.
Yes. Love it.
So how you feel? No, sorry, 55 days. What am I thinking? Just had to check the number.
I was going to say.
I know this time for you has not flown by any, but for me, it definitely has. This pregnancy has been very fast.
I'm really happy for you.
We feel like your baby's already here.
I feel like just yesterday you were telling me that you were pregnant. It's crazy.
Katie was one of the first people to know, and I told her on a break in a text message.
Yep.
And she got teared up. And I was like, get it together, girlfriend.
Teared up then. And then I also got teared up whenever you gender of the baby. I can't help it. I love that stuff. I love it.
I'm glad for you. I'm just not like, I see people like Katie who just fully invest their heart in the lives of other people. And no, you're laughing. I'm dead serious. That is a gift. It is selfless. And if we had more of that in the world, we'd have a way less problems. Most people are like me, where I feel like I can't feel anymore.
I am numb.
I have 3 kids, 1 on the way, a job that I absolutely love and adore, but this has been a challenge. I mean, when I was going to put this up, I was trying to figure out how do I word this on social media to get reaction that I couldn't predict before I posted. Like, I think if you're going to put something like, okay, I heard Newsmax, I think it was on this show, on during this show, there's a promo. It was like, we're doing a poll. How is Joe Biden doing for America? And I'm like, okay. I have a feeling that Newsmax knows how this poll is going to go. And obviously it's something where they're trying to push people to interact. And I understand that, respect that, and do that from time to time. But I'm not going to ask those questions because I know how that's going to go. I am looking at this Biden administration. If you went back and listened to the shows that I did before the election, I was not confident that Trump was going to win. And I kept saying, it's Trump in Georgia. Like, we need a win out of 3 different races, Trump and the 2 Georgia Senate seats. We need to bat 1 for 3, and we will be able to breathe for the next 2 years. And there are times where I would start to talk about what we were going to endure if we did not, if we got swept, and we got swept. And it is worse than I thought it would be. I think that the nature of how bad it is I just can't believe how fast this is going. There are so many stories out there right now that are individually like worst case scenario for people who have conservative ideals about how this country should be run, constitutional ideas, if you ask me. And it's, I hate this phrase, but it just really applies. It's like drinking out of a fire hose. It's just an onslaught every day of what next? You got to be kidding me. Like we're passing over gigantic stories because there's just so much to talk about. Especially like when we have Jim Carafano on Tuesdays, and he's talking about things that are going on in China or Russia or Ukraine or Iran. We aren't even talking about those things. And I bet you if I spent a significant amount of time talking the intricacies and details of foreign policy, you wouldn't want to listen to it because it makes you crazy. You can't do anything about it. I mean, the nature of what we're dealing with right now as a country politically, what we're dealing with as a country culturally, and what we're dealing with the country in our own communities. I'm not going to speak for you, and I'll ask you guys about this, but I feel helpless. And when I feel helpless, I go get coffee. That's pretty much the summation of it. Actually, today I got 2 big coffees. How's that coming? Are you almost done?
No, but I let me just take another sip.
Take another sip. Answer. Ryan, do you feel helpless right now when you see all these stories coming down the pike?
Yeah, I do. But I also, sometimes I like feeling that way. It might sound stupid, but it really makes me focus on God. When you feel like, what am I going to do? You just go, well, I'm glad I'm not in control. You know what I mean?
I have, yes, I do. This is a crazy conversation that we're having now because last night I was talking to my neighbors, which I won't say their names, but hi neighbors. They love the show.
Hi neighbors.
They listen every day.
Hi suburban
you know who
people.
You are. And Marty was running.
How do you like David's shoes? That's what I need to
What
know.
do you think about David's shoes? He hasn't
His
ordered
white
them
New
yet.
Balances.
He hasn't gotten them yet. So I will ask them. So Marty's running around our big backyard with these 2 other dogs that are our neighbor dogs. Are all the same age. And we're having this conversation.
Marty is Katie's dog.
Yes. And then there's 2 other neighbor dogs, Charm and Tag, and they're wonderful. And they're Marty's best friends right now. And we're having this conversation through our fence, talking about life. And he and his wife listen to the show. They love 97.1. And he was just asking me, what do we do? How do we move forward? How do we convince people that, there does need to be some kind of coming together and unity that we need to strive to. But how do we do that whenever we're looking at police officers and demonizing police officers? How do we look at that and we can't evaluate each and every case and circumstance individually? And we see it in the news media, how everybody is blaming everyone, and there's so much chaos and there's rioting in the streets. And sometimes it feels like the media, as to Tyrus's point yesterday, sometimes it feels like the media and social media want us to be against one another. They want us to go in the streets and riot and spew hatred. And what do we do to stop that? And this is all in my backyard at 7:00 at night. And it's a real genuine conversation I'm having with my neighbor. Like, has the world just gone down the drain? I didn't have an answer. I don't have an answer, because I think what it's going to take are hard conversations like what we're having on air, and hard conversations like I'm having with my neighbor, to get to a point to say, it's not like that, really. It's not like that. Look at where we're living now. Nobody's on the streets protesting. Nobody's burning down buildings. Nobody's coming out with their signs saying, I voted for this person and you voted for that person and I hate you. We have to separate ourselves from what the media wants us to believe and what the media wants us to think, and think for ourselves and realize we're living in reality.
I think that it's so important to highlight those conversations as well, because I think those conversations are happening in the backyards all across America right now, over fence posts, and, you know, in a kind of out of the side of your mouth type of a way. Katie and Ryan and I probably have the benefit and the drawback of being a safe space where people, I mean, it's not really if you walk up to me, it's not really a secret where I lie on a lot of issues. That's right. Drink that coffee, Katie. Don't spit it out on the board. You go into a situation where you're having a conversation with somebody and you don't know where their perspective is. If you catch a glimpse of thinking, you know what, we might be on the same ground here, or if we're not 100% on the same ground, that this person seems like they care more about me than they care more about being right about specific issues. Those conversations need to be had, not in the comment section, not in a limited amount of characters on Twitter. They need to happen in the backyards, and they need to, as you were explaining there, Katie, with your neighbor, they need to be in a way that ends with at least the hope of some sort of production that comes out of it, where we say, how do we do better? And even if you don't end up with the answer, because we don't have the answers, even if you don't end up with the answer, knowing that there's somebody else out there in your community who is understanding the frustration, not of there aren't enough Republicans in the world or there are not enough Democrats in the world, but the frustration of, I don't know where our country is heading. I'm raising kids or a family in this country, and I don't know where this country is heading. We need to make sure that we protect the things about this country that are great. And that's going to come with the understanding that there are things about this country that haven't been great. And we have to live in that world and figure out how to go forward another day. It's the same thing as marriage. It's the same thing as family. The person who you're married to, or the person who you're with, or the family members that you have are not perfect. You're not perfect, but you make a commitment every day to care about these imperfect people and protect the thing that you have. It's the same thing with the country we live in. I think those conversations are great. Maybe buy them a coffee or a beer. Whatever is the least intimidating thing for you to offer. Or do what Katie said and say, what do you get, Annie?
What do you
And then you go from there. We're going to take a quick break. I'm very excited for our next segment because it's with Tammy Bruce. We have not had Tammy Bruce on this show. She's a Fox News contributor. Next week, right, Katie? She's hosting Fox News Primetime? No, this week.
This weekend.
Perfect. So she's going to be hosting Fox News Primetime. She is a great contributor, and there's big news out of California today. I'm going to ask her about that when we come back. Tammy Bruce in just a minute.
In my red high heels.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I'm gonna take 'em into town.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Oh, you said about yourself, baby. Yeah, you know the deal.
At Edwards Carpet, all flooring is affordable, great prices, and we take up your old carpet and move your furniture free. We offer 0% financing in 4 convenient locations. Visit us online at edwardscarpet.com.
Come on down to Edwards Carpet Store.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-426-3569. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-426-3569 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-426-3569 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-426-3569.
Tired, lethargic, even after coffee? You not sleeping soundly?
Hi, I'm H.Y. Khan, Director of R&D at the DNA Company. Did you know that chronic lack of sleep weakens the immune system, increases your risk of heart disease, cancer, diabetes, forgetfulness, and even weight gain? The DNA Company has studied 22,000 genes, collected 500,000 genomic data points, and built the first genomic-based artificial intelligence platform to analyze what genetic factors are causing your poor sleep and how to fix it. That's right. Now, you can learn how to sleep like a baby, wake up refreshed, and feel energetic once again.
I'm Dr. Khan. I use DNA Company's DNA sleep analysis on my patients with incredible results.
Hi, this is Sarah. The DNA Company's analysis is amazing. Now my husband and I sleep like babies.
I couldn't sleep no matter what I did. I was miserable, no energy, tired. I got the DNA sleep analysis. Now I sleep like a baby and have so much energy. The DNA Company saved my life. This is Carl telling you the DNA analysis for sleep works.
Get your DNA sleep analysis at DNAsleep.com. Only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's DNAsleep.com.
This is 97.1 FM Talk with Mark Cox and Brian Kilmeade in the morning.
There's no doubt about it.
Followed by Annie Fry and now Mark Reardon in the afternoon.
Right, every time.
It's all on the number one talk station in St. Louis, 97.1 FM Talk.
Goodbye, cold. Goodbye, rain. Goodbye, sorrow. And goodbye, shame.
The reality star and former Olympian Caitlyn Jenner is throwing her hat in the ring for governor of California. She just announced she has filed initial paperwork to run for office. And in just the last hour, she tweeted, "I'm in. California is worth fighting for." She then directs her 3.5 million followers to her campaign website, Caitlyn for California. It doesn't list off any of her policy positions, but they're already selling merchandise from California wine glasses to bumper stickers.
Caitlyn Jenner announcing that she has thrown her hat into the ring as the candidate for the Republican Party for governor in this state of California. Now, you know that I myself, across the river here in St. Louis, as a resident of Illinois, we always look to California to see what kind of great ideas they have so we can replicate them. So we'll see how the recall of Gavin Newsom goes and the announcement of the Caitlyn Jenner candidacy, how that progresses. Welcoming onto the show for the first time, Tammy Bruce, a Fox News contributor. I love watching you, Tammy, on all of the different shows that you show up on. Your take is always spot on. It's great to have you here on the Annie Fry Show.
Well, thank you. You're doing a great job, and it's a pleasure to be here. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So, Caitlyn Jenner, I wanted to get to this off the top here, announcing today that she has thrown her hat in the ring for the candidacy for governor. What do you think about this, and how is California going to receive this news?
Well, I was involved in the recall of Gray Davis, and that was the first recall of a governor that was ever successful in America's history. So that was pretty fabulous. That's what ultimately elected Arnold Schwarzenegger to be governor. So Californians know how to do it. And it's what I recall of the Gray Davis recall, and some might not know how this works. There'll be one ballot And you have the one question about the recall where you say yes or no. And then regardless of how you vote on that, the second question is, if question 1 succeeds, in other words, the governor is recalled, who would you want to take his place? And that's where you then vote for governor. Now, when we recalled Gray Davis, there were about 64 people who ran for governor who were on that ballot. And what was great about it, it was nonpartisan. The parties were not controlling that framework. So it was everybody. All you needed to do was pay some money or get some signatures. And so, Jenner has the money, no doubt. And of course, name recognition helped. During this first recall, everyone ranging from Schwarzenegger to Hervé Villechaize of Fantasy Island was running for governor. So I think the more people, frankly, that run, the better. But the parties will have an interest in coalescing around one person so that you don't have like a split vote, of course. And I think that for me, Jenner, while she has the money, loves California, but as you've noted in your opening, there's no real discussion about policy. This is a person who, as we saw with Schwarzenegger, not having real business experience or government experience was bad for him, and he caved to the left eventually. And for Jenner, I think we've already seen her cave. She's not the right person for me because she was a Trump supporter, right? And I'm a Trump supporter. But when the woke mob descended upon her, in particular the gay woke mob and the trans woke mob, she caved. And then she condemned Trump. So if you're going to want to get California off of her knees, you're going to need somebody who is not going to be afraid of lobbyists, who's not going to be afraid of any bully group, including woke mobs, which are very small, by the way, of course. This has this cancel culture has never been a representation of what a majority of Americans want, no matter who they are. And it's a leftist tactic. And we've already seen Jenner respond in the wrong way to just a little bit of pressure. So she condemned Trump. And yet this does seem to be a person clearly who took an action to change her life later in life, which I admire, and seemed to want to do it no matter what people would say. But when it came to being criticized, all of that fell apart. And that's not exactly what California needs right now when it comes to getting that state out, not just out of the grip of the Democrats, but out of an attitude where you have the far left running things, even if it's just through influence of the person who's the governor.
We're speaking with Tammy Bruce, Fox News contributor, also a Fox Nation host. You talked about the woke mob, and you said they're small. They are small, but they're mighty because they're loud and they've been given a platform. I'm thinking of some California figures that are national figures. We've got Adam Schiff, we've got Nancy Pelosi, and also Maxine Waters and her tied to the woke mob, especially in the wake of the Derek Chauvin trial and how we saw her thrust herself in the midst of that right now. A lot of this emanates from California, and it seems as though Californians embrace it. They keep electing these individuals. Is there a possibility for a tide change in that state?
Well, I think so. They went to what's known as the jungle primaries, where you vote, and then it's based on the number of votes of who gets to move into the general election. So then if you have a majority of people who are Democrats, you in the general election, you don't even get a real choice between a Republican and a Democrat. You could just have two Democrats, and that's how they've taken complete control over the state, is that individuals who might not vote in a primary, and these things we have to get to change. But even Democrats oftentimes would prefer to vote for someone, considering the lineup of people you mentioned, would want to, and clearly with this recall have stated, we don't like what's been created here. So a lot of different kinds of things have to change, but Californians have to realize that it's better to have made the right decision at first instead of needing to go back, because then there's the governor races again in 2022. So this new person would have just 1 year. But you're right about what California sends to Washington. It's the worst of us. And you see that this is what now the Biden administration wants to do, is make the nation look like California. And there's that pipeline from Sacramento to Washington, D.C. My feeling is if Gavin Newsom is recalled, which I believe he will be, that he'll end up in Washington. And so this is the kind of swamp that Donald Trump talked about, that this kind of collusion between the worst people in the world, because they want it all. But it's going to take a real distinctive decision by the American people and Californians. And by the way, Annie, it's not just the recall of Newsom. There's a recall of San Francisco Board of Education members. There is a recall, I believe, being developed for the newly elected district attorney in Los Angeles. People are realizing sometimes they get lied to, and they're taking a stand against it. But California and these individuals from California, I just want people to know the media elevates it. They are just a few. You can change this. You can change what's happening in schools with critical race theory. They want you to be afraid because they don't want you feeling like you've got some power, because then they'll melt. And we still can fix this, but we've got to be active about it.
Tammy Bruce is on the phone with us, Fox News contributor and guest hosting Fox News Primetime this week. Tammy, this is Ryan Wiggins. I was looking at the timeline of this topic with Gavin Newsom, and it looks like a recall wouldn't take place until, or a vote anyway, until October, which is what that year you're talking about. How important is that year, though? Because we're talking about, I think we'd be doing redistricting in that year, all things that would the governor have any say over how the seats play out throughout the whole state then, or is that a different process in California?
Well, of course, what the Democrats are going to try to do is just stop everything like they did with Trump. They're going to sue. They're going to try to stop everything. That's why the person who's elected is going to need to have an experience to understand how to use this popular revolt, which will be significant if this the recall works. That will shock a lot of people who felt that they were just going to be elected into perpetuity. So that person's going to have to know how to use that kind of public pressure, how to organize it, how to make sure, and how to work with Democrats, how to work with the few Republicans that are there, how to re-energize the Republican Party, and how to make sure that the Californians who vote for this, including the Democrats and the Green Party and independents, know that, in fact, you can do this. If the Democrats have failed, that none of what you voted them in for, the opposite has happened. Your lives are being ruined. They don't know what they're doing. They only think of themselves. So whoever wins is going to need to have an understanding about how to make that work. We know Caitlyn Jenner is not that person. I think the majority of people who are running will not be that person. Rick Grinnell, whom I know, has the experience and the understanding of how to make this work, get done whatever you can get done in that year, which is going to take negotiations and public pressure and organizing. And then you, of course, then need to run again in a regular election. And in the midst of all of this, the California Republican Party, the National Democratic Party will be fighting. The Democrats will be trying to cheat, trying to stop things, but they certainly won't be trying to convince anyone of anything, because Californians would have rejected them. So I see the midterms, as we saw even in the 2020 midterms, as an opportunity when you saw so many of those blue seats flip back to red, because Californians realized, wait, they lied to us. They said they weren't going to recall Trump. They were going to work on the issues. And what do you know? It was the opposite of what they said. So I, as a native Californian, I know that they can do it. And as an American, I also know that that is still in our DNA. And there just needs to be an encouragement, but we want leadership. We want somebody who knows what they're doing. I don't care if you were a reality TV star. Donald Trump was. I don't care, what your background has been. We need to know, though, that you have a history of standing by what you believe in and not caving, and having the strength to move forward while also getting things done like a businessman would, who's had a history of getting that done. We have the template, and now it's going to be about making sure Californians elect the correct person and that the Democrats don't cheat too much.
Absolutely. You're speaking to my ears here. Certainly, as I said, we're on in St. Louis, and I live on the Illinois side of the river, and the Illinois side with Governor Pritzker has dealt with a lot of the similar things that California has gone through. I'm curious. I've been wanting to talk to you specifically, Tammy, ever since I read the article that you wrote for Real Clear Politics, about Rush Limbaugh, and it's titled "How Rush Limbaugh Helped Me Rethink Being a Leftist." I think that through the last year in this pandemic and watching government try to save us basically from ourselves and watching this power shift, Americans are having to ask themselves what they value more, their liberty or some sort of faux guaranteed security. And I'm still hoping that this shakes out in the shape of liberty. And I'm curious about your journey from being a leftist to somebody who is talking about these things in a very pragmatic way. Do you have hope for the country that in this moment, this very pivotal moment coming out of a pandemic with the Biden administration in charge, that other people might see it the way you did when you made that shift?
I think so. And I think that even though the Biden administration is going to make many things difficult and is going to cause a lot of damage, to have it happen so immediately after the Trump governmental success is going to remind Americans that one individual does matter, that leadership matters, that the system does not run itself. While the bureaucracy likes to think that it does, they do to some degree, but they do it badly and dangerously. It's like, sure, the 2-year-old can drive the truck, but do you really want the 2-year-old to drive the truck? No, you don't. And so I think that Americans, we are romantic. We do believe that people tend to not lie to us. I think we have found that politicians do. Maybe even they thought Joe Biden wasn't lying to us, but remember, he was going to work with everyone and govern moderately. All of that, of course, is false. We don't know really who's governing the country. It's clearly people on the left. And I think Americans notice that. We are a quiet people. We tend to, other than the left's organized riots, we tend to make ourselves heard. We've done it before. We did it with Reagan. We did it in 2010 when the Democrats lost over 60 seats in the House because of Obamacare. It destroyed the Democratic backbench of talent. Obama didn't care because this was his fun. We saw it again. All of these things were warnings. We saw it also with Trump. These facts tell you that Americans have been saying, wait, let's not do this. And the Democrats not only keep doing it, they're doubling down. And I think that I trust us. And I do think that, like with, for me, being, on the left, a community organizer at KFI Radio, being their liberal host. And there is Rush Limbaugh, who is at the same station over a period of just a few hours with a conversation with him, finding that I had been lied to about regarding him and about the right in general. That's what talk radio did for me. I realized that conservatives were not what they had been portrayed as being. And then I wondered, what else have I been lied to about? And it was just Rush Limbaugh being himself and, having conversations. And I think that that's what the American people notice as well. They notice who's being honest. They notice when they're being lied to. And they do know that what matters is their family and the future. And the left doesn't like either one. And so I think that the Republican Party needs to make sure they organize properly, don't snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And I do believe President Trump will continue to be perhaps the most influential person politically in this country for the next several years to come. And I personally hope that he runs in 2024.
I think you've offered listeners, especially today, as we have this insane news cycle, it just feels like a loss after a loss after a loss. You've given people a lot of bright spots to lean on, and I'm telling you, across the country, right here in the heartland as well, we're watching California and Californians say, "Okay, I think we've had enough now," and I'm hoping it's a bellwether for the country. And Tammy, your voice very, very valuable in that for all of us to hear. Thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you. And I do hope to see everybody on the 7 p.m. hour next week on Fox. They're giving me the network for an hour for a whole week. So I'm looking forward to that too.
That Fox News Primetime show has been a joy to watch, and we will be sure to tune in as you host. Highly recommend that. tuning in to Fox News Primetime. It's Tammy Bruce, host. And thank you again for coming on here.
Thank
So
you,
fun
dear.
to talk to you. We'll
Thank
talk to
you.
again. Bye-bye. I enjoy her greatly. Her story is amazing. She is somebody who, as she said, was a community organizer on the left and had a individual meeting passing with Rush Limbaugh, had a conversation with him and changed her perspective over the course of time. And that's the thing that she wrote in this article on RCP. And this is in February when Rush passed away. The thing that she wrote that really compelled me to want to talk to her at her convenience, obviously, was she said, I wonder what else I'd been lied to about. And I wonder, well, people's eyes are being opened as their lives are being so affected by the government overreach that has just begun to happen right now. And you consider that maybe the things, not just even talking about policy, but maybe the things that people have told you about conservatives, maybe they're not all true. It makes you raise your eyebrows. And if that follows with you asking more questions of yourself, or if a loved one asking more questions of themselves, that's when conversations can be productive and can happen. Please tune in to watch Tammy Bruce as she hosts Fox News Primetime this coming week. It is going to be a pleasure to watch, and hope you join me with that. We're going to take a quick break, some reaction to Tammy's comments there when we return. 314-241-9797 if you'd like to weigh in. We'll be back in just a minute.
Goodbye, cold.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Goodbye, sorrow.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
I'm headed out west with my headphones on, holding a flat with a song in the back of my soul.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 52 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
All right, a lot of people out there right now looking to get a haircut this weekend. Get online at hairsaloon.com and get your schedule today. One of the things that I really, really appreciate and really, really love is I wear a Thin Blue Line t-shirt today, if you're watching on the live stream, is how they support the local people who protect us and keep us safe. There's a 25% discount on services all day and every day for veterans, active duty, military, and first responders. If you are looking for a perfect haircut, look no further than Hair Saloon. When you go in, you're going to get their motto right away. Hair Saloon believes that men deserve better, and they are working very hard to make sure that every experience that you have, every time when you go into Hair Saloon, that you continue to have that feeling of deserving quality treatment, of having the relaxing shampoo and the hot towel and mint, of the complimentary shoe shine that comes along with this, a complimentary beverage. They're going to treat you right in an atmosphere and environment where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy while you get your perfect haircut. Find the location nearest you at hairsaloon.com.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. Interest rates are still at historic lows. If you have not taken advantage of today's low rates, what are you waiting for? I get calls all the time from people using online and national lenders. They question the fine print, need clarification, and want somebody to talk them through the steps. This is the personal service I offer. Whether you are looking to refinance or purchase, call an experienced local lender. Call me, Michael Mohan, at 314-336-6050. Call today while interest rates are still at historic lows. 314-336-6050. 314-336-6050. 314-336-6050. Or online at communitymortgagestl.com. When you call, you'll speak to me.
Community Mortgage LLC, 224-143, NMLS 250353.
Hello, Marvin Mitchell here from Compass Retirement Solutions. Did you know that the average 3-year CD rate in the area was less than 1%? That's why we are excited to offer you several accounts that are short-term and pay better than bank rates. For example, we currently have a 3-year account paying 2.4% and a 5-year account paying 3.5% per year guaranteed. What a great place for your lazy money. You know, the money that you don't plan to use for the next 3 to 5 years. Now, terms and conditions do apply. So for more information, call 314-373-1598. Again, call 314-373-1598. This is Marvin Mitchell, and we would like to put your lazy money to work for you. Call 314-373-1598.
Guarantees are backed by the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Rates can change without notice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's St. Louis area attorneys online at CordellCordell.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Chesterfield, Missouri, 63017.
What happens when health insurance goes further? When we combine access and attention with community and compassion? When data helps 2 million at-risk senior citizens get COVID-19 vaccines? Everything changes. At America's Health Insurance Plans, we're bringing health insurance providers together, delivering care and coverage for better health and lower costs. Why? Because care changes everything. Learn more at carechangeseverything.org.
There's lots of spring cleaning going around right now. And if this means that you found some trinkets, some treasures, some things that have value, that every time you do spring cleaning, you move it from one location to the next because you're not going to sell it. You're not going to get rid of it, but you're also not going to hang it on the wall in the middle of your house for full display, or it's a piece of jewelry that you're not going to decide to wear with regularity. You know it has value, but it doesn't have meaning to you specifically. Time to sell it to National Rarities. These are the people you go to with these kinds of items. Get the value for it and then put that earnings into something that you do want to proudly display. If you have paintings or artwork that are valuable, if you have autographs, antique toys, any kind of jewelry, whether it's broken jewelry, mismatched jewelry, gold, silver, platinum, sterling silver, all of this stuff has value. And when you go to National Rarities, they're going to give you a fair, honest price. You're going to talk with experts. They have an A+ rating with the BBB, GIA certified buyers, people you can trust to be fair with you and make this a very positive experience. They're in St. Louis and West County, in the corner of Manchester and Mason. Call them and make an appointment. 888-787-1112, 888-787-1112, online at nationalrarities.com.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC, etc., from a company that hopes you never ever have a claim or call. Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visits your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all their work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 971 for $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. 636-387-7331.
Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep, and you'll have a happy home.
This is where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Join the conversation digitally. Download the Odyssey app and tune into the #1 talk station in St. Louis at any time.
But can't redefine itself. It's still embracing a guy, and they're still following a guy who, and I'm not saying the Republican Party's fascist, but the guy that they're following is a fascist.
They're not fascist. They're fascist curious.
Well, you said that. You said that, but I will say, if
you're following a guy who's fascist and you're not a fascist, what are you?
I'm trying to be polite here. Well, I will tell you what they are. They're increasingly illiberal. They're increasingly authoritarian. And they're increasingly dumb, ignorant, xenophobic.
That's gonna do well.
No, it's the truth.
I think fascist is nicer than what you're saying.
Since this is radio and theater of the mind, I'm just assuming that Joe Scarborough just said all that while he was on the toilet. Doesn't it sound like he's in his bathroom?
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Or he's
echo.
standing in a deli or something.
The
Like, what are you
echo.
doing, man?
The GOP is becoming increasingly dumb. And I needed Joe Scarborough from his turlet to tell me that. Give me a break.
The setup of this, I watched the video, and
Are you going to break my fantasy of him doing
No, we can. I won't say
this
where.
interview?
I won't say where. The only
Taking a number 2 on the
they
toilet
both are in the toilet, but Mika
with Fauci
is,
underwear on.
like breathing down Joe's neck as they're doing this interview. She is on top of him. She's like, "They are fascists, though, aren't they?" And Joe's like, "Yes,
That's how
they
they
are
fell in
incredibly
love.
dumb." And like Mika is glued to Joe Scarborough as he's talking to Colbert. I think that's who it is. Yeah, and I mean, that was what was fascinating to me, is that they are stuck like glued to each other during this interview. And she's like, "But they are fascists, aren't they? That is the party." He's like, "But they are fascists, aren't they?" Yes, they are. I'm like, okay.
I saw I guess it was after the George Floyd or the Derek Chauvin, verdict came out. And I've enjoyed Jimmy Fallon. I thought that Jimmy Fallon was good at entertaining people, and it was kind of cheap entertainment is not the right way, but I mean, he plays silly games. He, lightens the mood and blah, blah, blah. And on my social media, I think it was Facebook, there was a promo because I followed his show on Facebook, and it was like, "Tonight we welcome Joy Reid," to get the reaction. And I'm like, on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon? Like, how do you, I don't know that you really can lighten the mood with the Derek Chauvin trial, but B, are you entertaining people? It is an entertainment show. I don't need to know what Jimmy Fallon and the Tonight Show think about this stuff. When I watch the Tonight Show, which I really don't, I'm just going to be honest, I usually just watch it through social media. When I consume the Tonight Show, I'm only consuming it to see two celebrities play like beer pong and figure out which one, and watch them look like normal, regular people. That's why I'm watching the Tonight Show, which I don't anymore. And seeing that, I didn't even click on the promo or like investigate any further. I said to myself, if Jimmy Fallon's idea of who his audience is a bunch of people who want to hear what Joy Reid has to say on the Tonight Show about the Derek Chauvin, George Floyd thing that is rocking our country, I'm not in his audience. Bye. So I unfollowed it. I unliked it, and now I won't get those things. I'm so quick to do that these days. Like if I'm seeing stuff in my social media feed and it is affecting my mood past 10 seconds of consuming it, it's just gone. I don't need it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to see Joy Reid on the Tonight Show? I mean, if you want to see Joy Reid, watch MSNBC.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was an interview that was conducted with Bernie Sanders, and they were talking. This was with Stephen Colbert again, which I don't even. I think
CBS.
I think he might be CBS, but it's also become so typical for him to have politicians on the show. It's so annoying. They were talking about policy and how Bernie Sanders was trying to change the world and become a revolutionary in our government. I'm like, dude.
And when they have celebrities on to promote their movies, they spend the majority of the interviews talking about politics. I mean, I'm really over this. And I'm probably way behind on the times as far as how many people who are listening here have shut down. Here's an article in the Orlando Sentinel published today. Here's the headline: "I love Disney World, but wokeness is ruining the experience." I'm going to out myself, and we're going to talk about this with Gabe Pfeiffer, St. John the Philosopher, when he comes in studio next. What are you not boycotting because you like it so much that you haven't pulled the trigger yet, but maybe you will? That discussion in a minute.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del will show you how to retire in 2 to 5 years. Your age doesn't matter. Turn off the pundits and turn on the passive income. Tune in to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
So many people have discovered Foley Dental Group, and in a lost year that was 2020, a lot of people got away from the idea of going to the dentist. Not like it's really that hard to be like, oh, I've got, so many things to do and I just don't want to go to the dentist. You're finding excuses. I know you are. I can give you a million reasons to go to Foley Dental Group. First of all, they're going to make you incredibly comfortable. Second of all, and probably most important, they are fantastic at dentistry. When you go to Foley Dental Group, you are going to get the very best of care. That is first and foremost. With each and every experience that clients have when they go to Foley Dental Group, they're going to understand that your health care is their priority. And they work very, very hard to make sure that you're comfortable, that you have a positive experience that makes you want to tell people about Foley Dental Group as well. My dentist is at Foley Dental Group. My whole family goes to Foley Dental Group. And I know that if you are looking for a dentist, you will be very, very glad that you gave them a shot. Find them in Maryville, Illinois. Make an appointment today. They are accepting new patients. Make sure you mention the Annie Fry Show when you call 618-288-9670. That's 618-288-9670. Online at FoleyDentalGroup.com.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458. 800-481-1458 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
97.1 FM Talk is now streaming on the Odyssey app. It's your home for streaming The Mark Cox Show, Brian Kilmeade, The Annie Fry Show, and Mark Reardon on your phone. The Odyssey app for streaming 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group. 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
A call for clean energy. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Biden taking part in a 2-day virtual global climate summit, restating his plans to reduce carbon emissions by 50% in the U.S. before the end of the decade. He says countries need to make sure people in the fossil fuel industry can find jobs in clean energy.
This challenge and these opportunities are going to be met by working people in every nation. And as we transition to a clean energy future, we must ensure that workers who have thrived in yesterday's and today's industries have as bright a tomorrow in the new industries.
About 40 world leaders took part in the summit, including Russian President Vladimir Putin. A CDC advisory committee is meeting today, reviewing information about rare cases of blood clots from a small number of people who received Johnson & Johnson's single-dose coronavirus vaccine. Last week, health officials called for a pause in the drug's use, and today's review could determine when the vaccine is back in use and whether any restrictions will be imposed. The foster mother of Micaiah Bryant today discussing what led up to the fight that resulted in police fatally shooting the 16-year-old girl.
The 16-year-old girl's foster mom told CNN that the fight started over an argument about an unmade bed and a messy house. The woman says 2 of her former foster children came over to her house Tuesday to celebrate her birthday. And after they got there, they told Micaiah to clean up the house because Mom doesn't like it dirty. Witnesses say that argument escalated until Micaiah charged the 2 other girls with a knife.
Fox's Garrett Tenney. Rescue teams from a number of countries are battling against time today, searching for a missing Indonesian Navy submarine lost in the Bali Sea with a crew of 53. Officials say the sub would be rapidly running out of oxygen if it is not already crushed by water pressure. America is listening to Fox News.
Saturday, April 24th is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Remove expired or unused prescription stimulant medications from the home quickly to help reduce the chance that others may accidentally take or intentionally misuse the medicine. According to the FDA, the best way to dispose of unused medications is through drug take-back programs or registered collection sites. For more information or to locate the Take-Back Day location closest to you, go to DEATakeback.com. This message is paid for by Adlon Therapeutics.
What do you get when you talk to a Dell Technologies advisor? You get someone who understands there's an art to listening, who's able to hear more than what's being said, and can provide tailored small business solutions that make you feel truly heard.
I understand. Let's get started.
For advice on everything from laptops to the cloud and solutions powered by Intel vPro platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
A slow-moving weather system has control of our weather, though not a lot in the way of rain this afternoon. It's cloudy, it's breezy, limited rain showers, lots of dry time, but a cool 60 degrees. Just kind of a gloomy day. Tonight, rain and some thunderstorms, heavy rain at times. Most of this is going to be late tonight. 50 will do it for the low. Saturday, rain continues into the morning. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for ThrottleNet, and if you need new IT service and you're a small business owner or you just need better IT service, why wouldn't you check out ThrottleNet? They won Best in Customer Service from Small Business Monthly this past January, Best in Cybersecurity in Small Business Monthly in February. Ransomware has been huge, unfortunately, on the rise through the pandemic, and ThrottleNet has saved clients $2.6 million in ransom. They protect against ransomware by providing a tool set that provides cybersecurity training for employees, identifying and quarantining an infected machine from the network, and the equipment will recover in less than 24 hours. Take advantage of a great offer. The first 30 days with ThrottleNet are free. There's no onboarding fees if you leave in the first 30 days. ThrottleNet will pay you $1,000 for your trouble. And after the first 30 days, no contracts, they're month to month. Check out ThrottleNet online. Use the 97.1 connection, throttlenet.com/971. Throttlenet.com/971. Get started today.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-426-3569. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-426-3569 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-426-3569 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-426-3569.
Lakeside Renovation and Design, online at lakesidерenovationanddesign.com. You are going to call them this weekend. This weekend, maybe you call them next week, but you're scheduling it. Put it in your calendar. Put this phone number in your phone to make sure that you get the best that St. Louis has to offer for your home project that's coming up. 636-978-5000. That's 636-978-5000. When you go with Lakeside, you get the very best that St. Louis has to offer. Like I said, they employ over 100 of the very best local St. Louisans who make sure that they do, obviously, the basic things that we wish were more obvious with other contractors, with other issues that you probably dealt with. People who show up to their jobs on time, people who clean up the job site every day. These little details, along with being the very best at your kitchen, basement, or bathroom remodel, or the James Hardy installation on the siding on your house, the infinity window replacement, Lakeside dedicates themselves to being the very best. And you are going to see that when you work with them. 636-978-5000 for your home project. Choose Lakeside Renovation and Design, online at lakesidерenovationanddesign.com.
Have you always dreamed of a lush green lawn? Get that beautiful curb appeal without the hassle by calling Professional Irrigation Systems. They'll install your new automatic lawn sprinkler system and give you a variety of options and warranties. Don't spend half your day lugging a hose around watering your lawn. Let Professional Irrigation Systems do the work for you. They offer spring activations, backflow testing, mid-season tune-ups, and winterization. Call the pros that have been in business for 20 years. Professional Irrigation Systems. Online at proirrigation.com.
Radio.com is now Odyssey. Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk on the go. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, Sid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Happy Friday. Very happy to have you here with us. A reminder that you can join the conversation online as we do a live stream where you can watch the radio show. 2021 is crazy, people, on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Annie Fry Show, and the Annie Fry YouTube channel. And I'll tell you right now, just to throw back to yesterday's conversation that we ended the show with, that food conversation, you know, that where I listed off things like anchovies, duck, liver, crabs, which is my favorite one, octopus, pig's ear, snails, squirrel. How many of these things have you eaten? Ryan, you said how many out of 39? Like 32?
It ended up being 33.
33. Katie, you had how many?
14.
Okay, I had 2, and it was blue cheese and venison, not at the same time. I don't understand this, and I I need to like capture lightning in a bottle here and replicate it, which is not what lightning in a bottle is, but we have over 18,000 comments on this stupid post.
Whoa. Wild.
So like, I don't know that we had 19,000 now. I don't know that we have 19,000 comments on everything else that I've ever done since 2016 when I created this page together.
That's incredible.
Awesome. So for the people who I'm going to now invite to like the show page because you think I talk about these kind of stupid things, you're in for something special. And you shall accept my invitation. Gabe Pfeiffer is in studio with us.
Yeah, I'm a freaking genius.
Okay, so you're a rocket scientist.
Brilliant!
Knowledge is power.
So Gabe, did you see this post on Facebook?
I did. I was going to respond. I think my wife did. She had like 16 or something.
I would look at it, but I'd have to sort through 19,000 people.
That is wild. It's so funny because I hear about this all the time where people who make a lot of online content, they say, you know, it was the dumbest thing that I posted ever. It's like it was a throwaway thing. I've never even thought of it. And that's the thing that went viral, as opposed to the thing I spent hours and hours fabricating and creating, thinking it's going to be the greatest thing ever, and nobody cares.
Here we are.
And here we are.
I found out what durian is. I had to Google it. I had to Google a lot of these things just to make sure I didn't eat them. And I had not. Oh, man. So I came across this article. I was saying this before we went to a break, from the Orlando Sentinel. And it says, I love Disney World, but wokeness is ruining the experience. And the article goes on to talk about things that Disney has done, you know, as a company that has really diverted from, if you know a lot about Walt Disney, I mean, he was an American loving, patriotic person. Main Street USA is the entrance to Magic Kingdom, and it's very American,
And
wholeheartedly American.
and kind of outspoken anti-communist too. Is
Super out, yeah, like testifying in Congress
kind of
about the
fascinating.
commies.
It's like, I know them too. They're right over there.
And I was thinking about this, and I was going to save it for an Ask Me Anything later on in the show, but I actually kind of want to flush this conversation out a little bit more because we talk about boycotting a lot. And we talked about this last week with you, Gabe, and you talked about the boycott, which is kind of the active way on the opposite side of boycott. But I'm wondering, because Disney would be mine. Of course, if you listen to the show, I don't talk about Disney a lot because you guys yell at me when I do. But it's some Disney World. My family is very in love with Disney World. It is our happy place, and it is that way because it's where I get to get rid of the rest of this stuff. Like my daily consumption, not daily, but my local consumption is coffee. That's how I decide to not pay attention to the news for a moment. But with my family, we just get to be with each other and enjoy each other at Disney World. And I've fallen in love with that. But it is hard to reconcile at times when you support financially. You know, if you're going to spend money somewhere, you're putting money in the bucket that they go spend to promote specific things. I wonder what your individual, almost, I guess maybe guilty pleasure is the way to say it. Like things that you invest in. Because I know, Gabe, you're a Star Wars dude. And if you're a Star Wars dude, but you're watching The Mandalorian and Gina Carano is getting kicked off because she said something and was labeled a conservative, basically, which was not even really connected. Gabe, what are some things right now that you still consume that you're conflicted about?
Well, it would fall in the Disney camp because Disney owns everything, and right now,
it's joke.
It's
if you think that I shouldn't be talking about Disney World, let's go over the things that you're paying attention to right now and liking that Disney owns.
Yeah, ABC television. Start there, but yeah, it's, you know, I'm a Marvel guy also on top of the Star Wars thing, and Marvel has been one of my favorite franchises since they started the whole thing, and I'm an old school Marvel comics fan, so that's, you know, that goes back to you know, I don't know, when I was 8. But I still consume Marvel products. I still have a Disney Plus subscription, and that's the thing that I find the hardest to deal with, because, you know, with the Star Wars thing, I've decided that I'm not going to consume new Star Wars, any new Star Wars. I'm going to stick with my old Star Wars. I'm not going to buy any more of the merch necessarily, unless it's something really cool. I don't know.
And standards, but
you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
What are we talking about here? What if it's an actual lightsaber? Because I saw that they were developing an actual lightsaber.
I've seen a few interesting developments for actual lightsabers.
Yeah, we bet you. That's about where the line is. I'll cross that
Disney
line.
Disney isn't selling those, though. those lawsuits would be crazy.
Might solve some problems.
But you know, with the Star Wars things, particularly with the Gina Carano thing, you know, The Mandalorian was kind of one of the first of new Star Wars that I was actually excited about, and a good portion of the fandom, which I'm pretty connected with, you know, online. We talk all the time. Was really happy with, and it seemed to have this sort of universal appeal. Was like, this is Star Wars. Thank you, Disney, for finally giving us real Star Wars. And then they did this Gina Carano thing. We're like, okay, guys, what you're telling us is you actually hate us. I mean, because that's the thing. I think that was a tipping point. It was kind of like, we love this. They've been calling us misogynist because we didn't really like how they portrayed Rey as a main character, and things like, you just don't like strong women. And then they give us one that we love, and we talked about her all the dang time. And then they say, no, you can't have that either. Yeah. So that to me was like, that was kind of the nail in the coffin. It's like, no, you actually don't want my money. You don't want my patronage. You do actually hate me. I'm going to stop giving attention and time, at the very least, if not my money, to people who hate me.
Part of this article that is like an op-ed that was in the Orlando Sentinel says, more broadly, like many corporations, Disney has been politicizing its business. Full disclosure, I am a Christian and a conservative Republican, so the people who run Disney and I do not see eye to eye. I think that's really interesting, especially in conjunction with what you just said right there, because you're saying they don't want my money.
Yeah.
But what they are saying when they wade into the political realm, and Coke is seeing this right now. I mean, Coke is noticing the effects of being involved in politics. What Coke is saying is, we want this person's dollar, but not that person's dollar. And they may not know, may not be like out in the open aggressively knowingly say this, but that is what they're doing. That's what they're committing to. And I think there's a lot of people, I mean, something like Coke or Pepsi, that's a pretty easy shift. I mean, maybe not flavor per se, but if you're going through Walmart and you're picking up soda, it's easy to walk past the Diet Coke and pick up the Diet Pepsi. And it doesn't really affect your bottom line at all. When people are talking about bigger things, car purchases, Jeep comes out with a Super Bowl ad that I actually adored at first because I didn't know who Bruce Springsteen was in the freaking commercial. I didn't realize it was him. I had to watch it like 3 times.
Wait,
and I was like,
that's Bruce Springsteen.
I was like, this is a really good message. Unity, blah, blah. Wait, Bruce Springsteen? This guy hates half of the country. What is he doing in this ad?
And he said so yesterday.
And I talked to people who are very, very like Jeep oriented people who are just face palming going, what's going on here? Why is this happening? I mean, if you're driving a Jeep, are you pulling it over to the side of the road and walking the rest of the way? Probably not.
No more.
If you're shopping for a Jeep, are you maybe now looking at a Bronco? Maybe. I don't know. But we have power with the way we spend our money. We also have things that we really enjoy and wonderful American products that have been created to, in a capitalist society, provide this experience for the consumer that is really good. And then they take this hard right turn and everybody's like, gosh, hope you got your seatbelt on because
hard left turn.
Yep. Yeah, you're correct. And the rest of us are sitting here going like, I didn't want to have to ask my question about I don't want to talk about politics when I'm talking about whether or not we're going to go ride Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios or we're going to go to Magic Kingdom and ride Dumbo. I want to ride Dumbo. I'm not supposed to be like on the life ride of Dumbo. It doesn't make sense to me why these companies push themselves into the politicization of our society right now, unless the companies are more scared than we are to not weigh in on these particular issues.
They're scared of something, and that's for sure. And whether or not that fear is real is kind of irrelevant, because so long as the whoever's making the decisions, whether it's the CEO, the CFO, or the head of marketing, whoever making those decisions about the messaging, as long as they're paying attention to the woke mob wherever they are, even if they're just 12 psychos on Twitter posting things over and over again for 3 days, that decision is still going to taint the entire brand. It's still going to send a message to the rest of us about what we need to be doing in the future with our money and our attention. But I actually posted a new video this morning. Go watch it after the show, guys. And it's talking about how we can win the culture war through media and entertainment. And one of the things I was talking about was how we don't really need to boycott. We just need to voice our actual opinions, what we like, what we don't like, because these companies, they actually solicit feedback. They pay millions of dollars to companies to do market research and all this stuff. Well, if you just tell them, they have that information now, and we need to bring back the strongly worded letter.
Yeah, for sure.
Because even if I'm still consuming Disney products, if they do something within their product that I don't like, I'm not just going to stop consuming that one thing. I'm not just going to boycott it. I'm going to tell them. Particularly if I'm still spending money there.
We're gonna go to a break here real quick, but I'm gonna read to you Marlene's comment on Facebook, and we're gonna react to it when we come back. So kind of ruminate on this, and let me know what you think about it. Can conservative radio walk the walk instead of just talk the talk, and stop encouraging listeners to consume products, shows, entertainment that want to destroy our culture? Like stop promoting MLB on your show, for instance. I get that people can't do everything, but stop promoting consumption of the MLB, whether you consume it privately or not. Marlene, I will react to that when we come back, and we'll get the room's reaction as well as comments here on the live chat. Join us on Facebook.com/Annie Fry Show, the Annie Fry YouTube channel, if you want to participate in the live chat. And just a reminder, we're streaming on Odyssey, which is the app you can download to your phone. Just find 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app, favorite it, and take us with you everywhere you go from noon to 3. We Fall right into the Mark Reardon Show after we're done, and the rest of the station's programming is there for you each and every day. Let's get to Marlene's comment when we come back. Don't go away.
Oh, yeah. She says loving just for me.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
So tenderly.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Way over town. That's good to me.
Hey, your carpet is one of the biggest investments in your home. It's also the biggest air filter in your home. Don't trust just anyone to clean them. This month, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned by Zerorez, starting at just $129. Call 474-2020 or book online at ZerorezSTL.com and say you want the Mark Reardon special.
Spring has sprung. Time to make an investment in your home. An investment that will increase the value of your home and improve the overall look and feel. At Universal Windows, we can't wait to tell you about our unique Unishield design and how we can save you money. Our windows will make spring cleaning super easy for years to come. Call Universal Windows now to schedule your personal estimate and take advantage of our buy one window, get one window free, plus 0 payments and 0 interest for 2 years. Call 314-696-5909 or click now at universalwindowsdirect.com.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss America 2020, Camille Schreier. Join me in support of the DEA's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 24th. Please get rid of the unused or expired prescriptions in your medicine cabinet. They could end up lost, stolen, or simply misused. Protect your family and our communities, and let's all keep prescription drugs out of the wrong hands. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. That's DEATakeback.com.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you have heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station as the financial expert for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend on 97.1 FM Talk, and in case you miss any of those shows, on his podcast on radio.com. That's radio.com, and search Safe Money 97.1. So call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
You know what makes every diamond unique and special are its 4 C's: cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. But do you know what makes Diamonds Direct special and unique? It's our own 4 C's. The first C, concept. Diamonds Direct has revolutionized jewelry shopping by eliminating middleman markups and giving you direct access to the world's finest diamonds straight from the diamond cutters. The second C, choice. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection of precious diamonds is unparalleled, and with over 4,000 designer settings to choose from, you are empowered to make a decision that works for your style and taste. The third C, confidence. With a nationwide price guarantee, free lifetime warranty, our unique 110% diamond upgrade policy, and our no-pressure, no-risk environment, you have total peace of mind. And the fourth C, community. Every year, we partner with local charities and nonprofits with significant donations of time, money, and jewelry to make this a better place for everyone. Diamonds Direct, as unique, special, and rare as every diamond in our showcase. Olive and 270 at City Place.
You know, I think one of the most important things about me talking to you about Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, and one of the reasons why I take this really seriously, is because you want to know who you can trust. And I need you to know that when it came to my refinance in my home in October, a couple falls ago, I trusted Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. I went through the process. I used the bagel loan to refinance my house, and it has been an amazing experience that has saved us money every single month since we did it. I trust Stewie. You can trust Stewie. And I think it's important that you understand that when I talk to you about people who are partners with me on the show, that I do trust them, and I am putting my name on the line next to their name on the line. When you work with Stewart's American Mortgage, when you see that you're making a home purchase and you have a loan that's $200,000 or over, he's adding to the bagel loan, which is always no lender fees. He's adding no closing costs and no title fees. There's no cost at all to you. This is a way for you to save a ton of money right now with Stewart's American Mortgage, and you can't get this anywhere else. Rates are low. Lots of people buying homes right now. Make sure you call Stewie and get the bagel loan. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Online at stewartsamc.com and MLS number 226715.
The med spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the med spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
Information to keep you moving. Dependable traffic driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Mr. Bombastic. We want some bombastic, romantic, fantastic lover. Shaggy. Mr. Lover. Now Mr. Lover. Girl. Mr. Lover. Now Mr. Lover. She call me Mr. Bombastic. Tell me fantastic.
So I know it's talking about things that we're boycotting that maybe are not boycotting that maybe we feel like we should or we're conflicted over it. But I could change the subject because it just came across this article from Self Magazine. Whoopi Goldberg shares her bedtime routine and what she does while everyone else is sleeping. Who clicks on that?
Wow.
You could interchange Whoopi Goldberg's name with anybody else's, and I don't want to know. I don't want to know the bedtime routine and what she does while everyone else is sleeping.
I have heard that this is a huge thing on TikTok where famous women share their like nighttime, like going to bed rituals, what they do. So I don't know why Whoopi is doing this. I don't know why we care about Whoopi, but I have heard on TikTok that a lot of famous celebrities like Jessica Alba will be like, this is how I clean my face before I go to bed.
Oh man, just to think of all the content I'm just missing out on. I started the show earlier talking about how I brought Katie coffee today. I went to Starbucks and wanted to bring Katie a Friday coffee and a breakfast Sammy. And I said, how that's not even half empty.
That's a big cup, though.
Gabe, I need you to invoke some serious peer pressure.
Look at
on
this
the breaks.
Freaking cup.
That's a big cup. I don't know.
Mine was gone before I got home.
And if it's not decaf, that thing's keeping me up till next Friday.
I told her she needed to drink it before the show, so then I wouldn't have to talk at all. Being a third trimester expecting woman, I am working really hard not to buy new clothes. I don't want to buy anything that I'm going to wear for a few weeks. I'm not going anywhere. I don't need to look cute. I mean, if you're watching the webcam right now, it's just my apologies. This is how I look, and this is the way it's going to be. I wear bright lipstick to try to divert your attention from the rest of me here. But I was getting out of Starbucks in Edwardsville, and I'm like, if there is a D-list celebrities of Madison County website somewhere, I was going to be on it because I looked like the biggest hot mess. I told Katie this morning because I don't usually get out in the morning before the show. I was like, I guess I got to go put pants on now. And I'm going to put pants on, go get you coffee. This is a real sacrifice for me.
It's a good friend.
But I wanted to do that for you. And I wanted you to get hopped up on some serious venti.
It's a blessing. Thank you, Annie. It's been great.
If I do show up on that D-list celebrities of Madison County website, I will be requesting a new producer who doesn't drink coffee.
You almost produced a spit take all over the board. you almost did it.
That's my goal because I don't have to be there when the engineer comes in and cleans it up. I can watch it from afar.
What did you do?
So let's go back to the comment that we went to the break on from Marlene on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page. She put this in the live chat, and I would love to hear what you think about this as well. Can conservative radio walk the walk instead of just talk the talk and stop encouraging listeners to consume products, shows, and entertainment that want to destroy our culture? Like stop promoting MLB on your show, for instance. I get that people can't do everything, but stop promoting consumption of the MLB, whether you consume it privately or not. So my response to that is I love the St. Louis Cardinals, and I'm gonna go down to what Brad here said on YouTube. I gotta scroll and find the comment because he made a really good point. It was Christopher too. He basically they're saying this is something that was a decision that was made at the top. Christopher says, nope, DeWitt didn't get political. I'm not hurting the team I've loved my entire life because they have an a-hole for a commissioner right now. And you know, Brad says the MLB is backpedaling. I don't really feel like my biggest contribution to this as somebody who has a platform for 3 hours, 5 days a week, is to not talk about the MLB. I think the MLB is big enough that they can handle the Annie Fry Show not talking about them. I think calling them out is something that I want to support, that I do support as a pastime, as my favorite pastime. And being able to say, I love professional baseball. I love Cardinals baseball. I do not support what the MLB decided to do as an organization in Georgia. I think that the more talking about it is better. And as a consumer, I think it matters more if I am a consumer of it and I am, in fact, talking about it at the same time than if I'm to just shut my mouth, zip it, and never talk about the MLB again. Most of the entities that have the power to become a national conversation and frustration for people like you and me who are like, well, gosh, I really, like Gabe was saying, I really love Star Wars, but you're making this too freaking hard on me to support Star Wars. Why are you doing this to me? I mean, most of these
looking nerf herders.
Yeah. Okay. What? Most of these people are companies, entities are too big for one person to just, you know, cross their arms, take the ball and go home. So you kind of, I feel like, to Gabe's point, when he was going to a break, you got to rattle the cage a little bit. And you have to say, listen, my dollar matters too. I'm a consumer and a supporter of this, but you're not supporting me. And if you want me to continue to support you, you've got to hear me for this. And we have to make more noise, not less.
I agree with that. And you know, again, it's this strongly worded letter principle, essentially. So particularly on talk radio, you get the opportunity to voice your opinion on it and to you know, spread the news basically to a good sized audience that, yeah, this is what's going on and this is what I don't like. This is something that you should be paying attention to because it has wider implications. And, you know, and also with that, you know, just the commercial side, you know, as a raging capitalist that I am, take MLB money. You know what I mean? It's like if they want to advertise, that's kind of I think that was one of the implications that the lady asking the question is like, well, maybe you should stop advertising these things, or maybe you should stop do this, you know, put your money where your mouth is, kind of thing. And in terms of being a business, you know, in radio, like if I'm in radio and I'm, you know, I'm running this show here, I'm a hot dog vendor. I want to sell hot dogs to everybody. I don't care what your politics are. So I'm selling advertising. I want to advertise to everybody. I don't care what your politics are. And you're gonna, if you give me money for that, then I'm going to, first of all, I benefit from the money, and second, you know, from the production of conservative content. So I don't know. I mean, just from the capitalism standpoint, I think if you have an opportunity to take money from people, you should take it.
And run.
I think
legally,
I'm probably on the
legally in exchange for goods and services.
I don't remember what her name was, but I think she's making good arguments, and these are arguments that we have within ourselves too, not just like within the show, but I think internally we each discuss these things, you know, as our inner monologue as we're going to consume products. And it's tough though with sports. I think she listed several things like entertainment and something else in sports. Sports is the toughest one to dissect because of the reasons that I think Chris and Brad were talking about, because you have individual owners who are disagreeing with the management of their sport, and the management doesn't actually control the sport. They're the commissioner as controlled by the owners.
That's entertainment too, though. I mean, like
it is
to
entertainment.
Suggest that Disney is speaking. I mean, they are speaking for every director and actor and actress and production and, you know, prop hand that's on, like, that's the same kind of concept that exists there. I mean, even in a smaller company. I mean, if a company decides to stand by something as a company, if you work for that company, you are being spoken for, in essence. I mean, you take a paycheck from them.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, as a team owner, like if the Cardinals hire or sign a contract with a pitcher, they don't necessarily vet that person to know what their ideology is before they sign them. They just want to know.
Hell
how they're
no,
gonna
they wanted.
they
Look at the
shouldn't.
freaking NFL. You've got
Please
people
don't.
who are like, "Will you be in prison at this point in time?" Nope. Can you start on Sunday? Yep. All right, we want you. No, I
Right.
mean, in sports, legitimately, it's statistically based whether or not people participate.
Which is good, which is one of the reasons that we like sports, because that tends to be a merit-based contract system. But with entertainment, you do, like, the owners do kind of know what they're buying before they buy it. They're going to know generally, how the writers feel about social issues. They might know how a certain series is going to play out, who's directing it, what's this sort of subtle messaging that's going into that before they were to get that.
But I think that's
sign that contract.
I still think that happens though in sports as well. In a Colin Kaepernick situation or a Tim Tebow situation, I think that if Colin Kaepernick didn't have so much drama that surrounded him, he probably would have gotten another chance as a backup quarterback somewhere else. And I think Tim Tebow got looked over many times because he too brought, his personality and the baggage that comes along with Tim Tebow. I mean, God forbid you pray in the end zone when you score. I don't know what the alternatives
hubbub about
are.
Tim Tebow is one of the dumbest things to ever happen in sports. I think.
It is. And
But
the dude
anyway.
has made quite a career off of the hubbub outside of the professional sport as well.
And good on him.
As has Colin Kaepernick. But I mean, it's not as if that wokeness hasn't crept into the sports industry. And I also think that, I mean, in many cases, money still talks. If Marvel can make $1 working with Disney and casting a specific person, they're going to do that. It just depends on who you are. Gina Carano is the Tim Tebow of The Mandalorian. I mean, she was not the Mandalorian. She was a character that had a good, important role in it. She did really well with what she had there, but she wasn't the be all end all. And it seems like they tend to have some, I guess they part ways a bit easier with people who are lower tier. And Colin Kaepernick made himself that way because of his performance on the football field. Tim Tebow made himself that way because of his performance on the football field. And the baggage that goes around, you're always weighing grief to dollar ratio. Katie, do you feel like any issue whatsoever, does that affect at all your spending habits? Have you ever been in a store? Maybe not. Maybe it's not the Coke Pepsi decision.
It's mostly artists for me. It's mostly
Music and things.
musicians, which has been around for a very long time. Musicians are very open about their ideology. They write music about it. They write music about war and, presidential races
Make
and
comments during
campaigns.
concerts.
Yeah, I mean, that's so notorious for that field of entertainment. But that, to me, I think this question that was asked of us, why do we talk about things that are destroying our culture? I think it's all about your personal preference about how much you can stand. All four of us that are in this room, we all typically don't boycott anything. We have a pretty high tolerance. But then once our tolerance is reached, like Gabe is saying, now I actually feel like you hate me.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's the choice that we have to make personally and say, maybe this isn't for me anymore. But to absolutely abandon something that you love and that you have watched, maybe it is the Cardinals for the entirety of your life because of one small portion of it that you don't like. I don't see the good in that. I think we have to move away from, even though these celebrities, even though these companies, even though these corporations are pushing their ideology on us, we don't have to accept that. We need to move farther away from caring about those ideologies and just say, in my heart, I can take this. In my heart, I can't take this anymore, and move on with the rest of our life.
I also think it's worth fighting for.
Yeah.
I think there are things that are worth fighting for to an extent. When you've decided that you've put in the effort to fight and it's getting you nowhere and it's causing you more grief than it is worthy of a cause to fight for, then you make that decision when you arrive at that point. But I'm never going to be the type of person who hears that somebody thinks differently than I do or is taking an action differently than I would. I'd be like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm out.
Right.
Like if it's something you love, if it's someone you love, then have a discussion about it. Because if everybody who disagrees with Coke specifically just shuts up and goes away and doesn't buy Coke, that's going to affect their bottom line. And that is absolutely going to get their attention. But I think that in order to get everybody else's attention, you have to speak on it and you have to be vocal about it in a way that brings people into being interested in your perspective and your cause. What are you talking? Why are you doing what you're doing? And presenting that to people who may go, well, that's an interesting take. I hadn't thought about it that way. And exposing other people to an ideology, just going back to what Tammy Bruce said in that article that she wrote that I shared on Twitter at Annie Fry Show about Rush Limbaugh. She had one encounter with him at the Southern California radio station where she was serving as, the resident liberal host of a weekend show there at the time. Rush Limbaugh was on that station as well, came in, they had a real conversation, and she said, this is not who they told me Rush was. And then she started asking herself questions about who conservatives were. And the more questions she asked, the more she realized, in her words, she had been lied to. That does not happen unless you talk. And we need to do a lot more of that. All right, real or fake when we come back. How about that? And if you haven't asked me anything question, comment it on the live stream. I feel like Facebook didn't like Mr. Boombastic here, so we'll see how it goes in a minute. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to some real or fake news with the people in the room. Don't go away.
Now, Mr. Lover. She call me Mr. Boom.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with 0% financing for 72 months and double carrier cool cash rebates on qualifying equipment when you purchase and install a new HVAC system. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
It's time to make a phone call to schedule your seat at the Protecting Your Retirement educational event with Thomas Helbig and Retirement Advisory Group, May 4th. That's a Tuesday at Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Mark Cox and Dave Glover are going to be there, so you're going to get to meet them. But you do have to reserve your spot, 855-755-1555. That's 855-755-1555. Call today and get your spot saved, and you're going to have social distancing, and you're going to be inside a really big room at the Frontenac Hilton, which is where it is. I don't think I said that yet. Learn the number one mistakes most retirees and pre-retirees are making, because then you don't make them. Thomas Helbig has a plethora of information that have helped him help so many 97.1 listeners. It's basically his entire client base. Make sure that they are prepared for retirement. And he boasts, as he should, that he's never had a client lose a penny. Reserve your spot today, 855-755-1555. Want to fill the room with Annie Fry Show listeners, and that means you. Call today to reserve, 855-755-1555, online at retirementkey.com.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-426-3569. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-426-3569 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-426-3569 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-426-3569.
Okay, it's almost opening time. Got to email over photos of this season's line.
As a business owner, you've got a million things to think about.
Can't forget about that video conference later.
Dealing with second-rate cable internet shouldn't be one of them.
But I did switch to AT&T Internet for Business with integrated broadband and wireless connection, so I've got this.
AT&T Internet for Business is designed for business, with an integrated network that gives you 99.9% reliability, so you can focus on your business.
Really need to update the website and figure out whatever that was.
And even if the power suddenly goes out, or if a construction worker accidentally cuts your cable line, AT&T Internet Backup automatically has you covered, so your business stays one step ahead.
All right, it's go time.
Choose fast, highly reliable AT&T Internet for Business today and get a $100 AT&T Visa reward card. Go to att.com/businessinternet to take advantage of this offer today. The AT&T Visa Reward Card is issued by the Bancorp Bank pursuant to a license from Visa USA Inc. and can be used everywhere Visa debit cards are accepted in the United States, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. No cash access. The Bancorp Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for ThrottleNet. And if you need new IT service and you're a small business owner, or you just need better IT service, why wouldn't you check out ThrottleNet? They won Best in Customer Service from Small Business Monthly this past January, Best in Cybersecurity in Small Business Monthly in February. Ransomware has been huge, unfortunately, on the rise through the pandemic. And ThrottleNet has saved clients $2.6 million in ransom. They protect against ransomware by providing a tool set that provides cybersecurity training for employees, identifying and quarantining an infected machine from the network, and the equipment will recover in less than 24 hours. Take advantage of a great offer. The first 30 days with ThrottleNet are free. There's no onboarding fees if you leave in the first 30 days. ThrottleNet will pay you $1,000 for your trouble. And after the first 30 days, no contracts, they're month to month. Check out ThrottleNet online. Use the 97.1 connection, throttlenet.com/971. Throttlenet.com/971. Get started today.
The Weekend Report.
Chris and I will get you up to speed on everything happening from the week that was. Plus, we'll talk to Dr. Christopher Metzler, who has been covering the Derek Chauvin trial. Don't miss it.
The Weekend Report. Saturdays at 5 on 97.1.
She was more like a beauty queen from the movie scene. Said, don't mind, what do you mean? I am the one that'll dance on the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean. She caused a scene, and every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one who dance on the floor in the round. Yeah, people always told me.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I heard this song today when I was driving around, and I thought, I understand a lot more words to Michael Jackson songs when Michael Jackson doesn't sing them. There is no artist who I know every riff of every second of every song, and I don't really know any of the words. You can't understand what he's. I mean, am I wrong? Can you? He's hard to understand. I know more of the hey than I know of the actual words.
Yeah, no argument.
That was well done.
He's very hard to understand.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
And I'm like, maybe his brilliance is just too great for me when it comes to music. And I'm not talking about any of the other things. Are we supposed to boycott Michael Jackson right now? Am I like breaking all the rules?
I feel
still
like there's
say
always a lot going on. There's always a lot going on in his music. So it's like, whoa.
Hey, back before the internet, his songs were among the favorites of people just trying to make up words to fill in the blanks of what we didn't understand.
I will be singing along
everyone
in the
knew
car.
those songs wrong.
And I'm like, what the hell am I saying right now? I don't even get words. There's nothing like having a song that you've sang a million times in the car, and then somebody else is in there, and you're like, oh, I can't really do this out loud because I have no idea what I'm saying.
It's more embarrassing when you become an adult because so many when you are a kid, you learn songs based on how they feel. You do not know what they're talking about ever. And then when you start to be a teenager and adult, you're like, oh man, I've been singing some things for my whole life. Singing not realize.
All right, let's get to real or fake here while we got a few minutes left in this segment. I'm going to steal one from Dave Rubin of the Rubin Report, at Rubin Report. It's a tweet that he put out, and I'm curious if you guys think this is real or fake news. He said in his tweet, very simple, I sense bravery starting to percolate. It's kind of a lean in, tell me more type of thing. We're in a moment in time right now where people are going to have to speak up and be brave. Dave Rubin says he thinks it's coming. What do you guys think?
Wow. I'd like to think so. I mean, I feel braver. I'll just say it that way. Just from my personal standpoint, I'm speaking out in ways I wouldn't have otherwise. I'm like I've said before, I'm kind of one of those head down, keep it to myself conservative. So, it's like, I don't really like that, but I'm just going to sit here and do my work kind of thing. But now I have to say things. So, yeah, I guess I do feel that.
I think that's real. just off of what you just said, Gabe, there are so many people.
It's the coffee.
It's the coffee. Like, yes, keep on going. But I honest to God think that
This is the top half of the venti, folks.
so many conservatives and
It's only half
libertarians are like, there is so much stupid stuff that's happening in the world. Let's just have some common sense into the conversation. I feel like a lot of people are feeling that way too. I say that's real.
All right.
I really agree with Dave Rubin here. I don't think it's just opposition party time either, because this always happens when it's the other guy in the office, right? As you get braver and you can fight back and you can go on the offense a little bit more. I don't really think that's what's happening here. I think you're seeing a backbone develop of people just saying, look, I've had enough. I'm going to not necessarily be loud, but I'm not going to shy away from what I believe, and I'm not going to back down.
Okay. Ryan, what's your real or fake?
Speaking of the boycott topic, I think that a Buy American initiative, considering our relationship with China, is absolutely key to a next Republican president.
Interesting.
Initiative.
Interesting. As key as in it needs to be part of the platform, part of the campaign rhetoric, that kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Gosh.
I mean, I would love to see it on any president, but I don't know that we're going to see it from Kamala Harris.
I think that Buy American is always a good preferable thing, but I think that it actually looks like a privileged thing to promote because buying American is more expensive, and it's probably more build American than it is buy American. And if we'd stop being so punitive to our businesses on the home front, that would probably result in our ability to make more and create more here in the United States. So I don't know. I mean, I'm a huge supporter of it, proponent of it, specifically purchasing local, but I don't know. I think it's going to be way more simple than that to get a Republican president, because it's basically like Joe Biden. You want more of that? Kamala Harris. I mean, it's going to be so emotionally based that trying to dive into policy and the specifics of what you would do, while that's how it should be, I don't think people are thinking that hard. It's how are they feeling at the time?
Yeah, I think, and people have a love-hate relationship with the America First mantra, which I think kind of goes along with build or buy American. I think for conservatives, America First was great. So we will be like, I'm game for that idea. It's going to be hard, I think, for other people that are moderate Democrat, maybe even libertarian, to wrap their minds around this is what we have to do to vote for the next conservative president. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'll say fake news, but only in so far as I think the spirit behind the Buy American idea is basically America First, right? It's like it's the idea of trying to not so much take care of our own, but just basically I don't know how to explain it. It's investment in America to get back to that unapologetic American spirit that we seem to have way back in the 80s when it was cool, right? And just to get back to that thing, I think we definitely want an optimistic sort of conservatism, optimistic patriotism.
Oh, I like that. Gabe, what's yours?
The fake news media actually is the enemy of the people.
Oh, real. The media is the biggest problem we have, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've said before, when Trump first said that, I was like, I don't know, that feels a little too big. You know what I mean? It's like it feels a little too far.
Did he create it? Did he manifest it?
No.
He just called it out.
He exposed it.
Yeah.
He exposed it.
I mean, and I say that's real because I'm sitting here thinking about how many outlets I actually trust, and it's so few. It's so few outlets. So I would say that's real. I wish it wasn't, but.
Well, and I think fake news is the enemy of the people. Truth is the perfect disinfectant for what we're dealing with right now. And the minute we have the ability to have our own personal truths, we are talking about perspectives on something, not truths. And to speak actual truth is a sin these days because it discounts somebody else's perspective. And those are completely conflicting realms. They don't intersect. It's not a Venn diagram. It's just two circles staring at you going, what you doing? Anyway, Brian, what do you think?
I don't understand how some of these people wake up every day and look at a story and think, how am I going to spin this? and can look in the mirror and think that they're doing a good job. I mean, I really
think it's a pretty good job. It got Joe Biden elected.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's the point, is that their goal is not truth. Their goal is presentation, or as we would say, propaganda.
Katie, real quick, give us an extra minute and you throw yours out here and we'll
there are a lot of
drastically fight
overused terms. We talked about triggered the other day and how that's just so annoying.
My truth.
But my truth
is that triggered is an overused term.
But a word that I think
sink
is
in.
perfect, that will last for generations, and I am so happy we discovered it, is woke. I know we all use it, but there is nothing that is the perfect word. Since I think discovery was like 2016, whenever we were like, that we can put a label on that and we can call it woke. That is a perfect word to describe what is going on right now in politics and how you feel, to me.
Based is the new woke.
Based is the new, based is the opposite of woke.
I was going to say, based is the new woke. You have to get woke first to then be red-pilled so you can be based. There you go. Congratulations.
Gosh.
You can now go on Twitter and understand what the kids are saying.
All of these terms have me triggered.
I hate Twitter
just
speak.
learned something just now. I don't know what any of this stuff is most of the time when I see it.
I'm minorly offended that you said I legit just learned something right now. Like, you've been on this show for how long? And like, you're like, dang, what am I doing here? I'm learning stuff. It's blowing my mind. Legit triggered right now and having my red-pilled woke basedness exposed to the totes. Nobody says totes. We'll be right back.
Tired, lethargic, even after coffee? You tried everything. Sleeping pills, vitamins, drugs, and nothing worked.
I'm Dr. Khan. I use DNA Company's DNA sleep analysis on my patients with incredible results. Truly life-saving results. If you're having difficulty sleeping, try it. It's guaranteed or your money back.
Hi, this is Sarah. The DNA Company's analysis is amazing. Now my husband and I sleep like babies.
Get your DNA sleep analysis at DNAsleep.com. Only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's DNAsleep.com.
Selecting a financial advisor is one of the most important decisions you will make heading into retirement. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money every Saturday morning at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Choosing a financial advisor is a critical step in planning for your retirement. You want to find an advisor you can trust is working in your best interest with the experience to do the job well. Providing guidance solely in your best interest is foundational to our team's approach. And with over 90 years of combined experience, you can have confidence we have the depth of knowledge to help you navigate important financial decisions. If you're retiring in the next 5 years or need a second opinion on your current plan, contact us today for a free consultation. To schedule your free retirement planning consultation, contact us at bobstockdale.com. That's bobstockdale.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Hi, this is Curtis Parks. I am the owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair. Family owned and operated since 1973. We've seen a lot of storms. We know what we're doing. We're here to help. Complete Auto Body and Repair has multiple locations in the St. Louis area that handles hail damage and storm damage. So if you had an issue or have an experience where you had to turn in a claim, please reach out to us. We'll handle all the red tape. We are Complete Auto Body and Repair. We handle everything from start to finish. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad and service.
Oh, yeah.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
A global push to avert a climate crisis. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Biden today focusing on jobs as world leaders wrap up a virtual climate summit.
President Biden opened the second and final day of the summit with a focus on creating new green jobs.
For automotive workers,
building electric cars, trucks, and buses, skilled workers installing and charging stations to accommodate them throughout our countries.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell says the administration's climate agenda will shred good-paying American jobs. The president said he's looking forward to working with Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has made no specific promises, but says his nation is interested in galvanizing international cooperation on climate change.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland in Washington. A number of states are reducing their requests for full coronavirus vaccine shipments from the federal government as vaccine supplies are starting to outpace demand. Health officials say the latest challenge in fighting the pandemic is many people don't want the shot, which could slow the country's efforts to reduce the possible spread of COVID variants and result in more illnesses. An American military reconnaissance plane is expected to join the search for an Indonesian submarine that disappeared Wednesday with its crew of 53.
The sub is said to be almost out of oxygen. Dozens of Indonesian ships and helicopters are searching in waters near the island of Bali. A spokesperson with the Indonesian Navy said an object with what he called high magnetic force had been detected floating not far from the surface. But the Navy has also speculated the sub may have sunk far deeper after losing power.
Fox's Simon Owen. Republican Caitlyn Jenner says she'll run for governor of California. The former Olympic athlete, reality TV star, and transgender rights activist says she's filed initial paperwork to run for the state's highest office. America is listening to Fox News.
Saturday, April 24th is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Help keep prescription opioids out of the wrong hands and reduce the risk of diversion, misuse, and abuse. When your opioid medicine expires or you no longer need it, please dispose of leftover medicines at a drop-off location as quickly as possible. For more information or to locate the Take-Back Day location closest to you, go to DEATakeback.com. This message is paid for by Purdue Pharma.
What do you get when you talk to a Dell Technologies advisor? You get someone who understands there's an art to listening, who's able to hear more than what's being said, and can provide tailored small business solutions that make you feel truly heard.
I understand. Let's get started.
For advice on everything from laptops to the cloud and solutions powered by Intel vPro platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
A slow-moving weather system has control of our weather, though not a lot in the way of rain this afternoon. It's cloudy, it's breezy, limited rain showers, lots of dry time, but a cool 60 degrees. Just kind of a gloomy day. Tonight, rain and some thunderstorms, heavy rain at times. Most of this is going to be late tonight. 50 will do it for the low. Saturday, rain continues into the morning. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Presented by Indeed. Indeed has this hiring tool called Instant Match, and it really lives up to its name. Just post a sponsored job, and Indeed instantly searches millions of resumes in their database to immediately deliver the candidates that fit your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Air Comfort Service, so accessible, so kind, so caring. Just recently had a new furnace and air conditioning unit put in. And the technology behind what they've been able to put in our house. Yesterday, the gas got shut off to our house. We didn't know what was going on. Didn't know that the gas got shut off. And we called Air Comfort Service, and they had installed a system in our house with a new furnace and a new air conditioning unit over the past course of, the last 5-6 months. And the system let us know that there was something going on, that the furnace was having some trouble, and it sent my husband an email. I didn't even know that was possible. It was so amazing because with it being a little bit chillier, we needed the furnace to be running. And it turned out that there was actually a gas problem in the neighborhood, and it was outside of even our house. But we knew that because of the system the Air Comfort Service put in for us. If you are looking for a new furnace or air conditioning unit, as we're in that weird time of year in St. Louis where things kind of get going, you can turn your heater on one day and your AC on the other, have Air Comfort Service come out. They give free estimates, so it's going to cost you nothing to find out how they can help you, and they're going to be fair and honest with you. 0% financing to make replacing your equipment more affordable as well. And through April, Air Comfort Service is doubling carrier cool cash rebates. Call today at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Legacy Box, a super simple mail-in service to have all your videotapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and pictures digitally preserved on a thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud. You know, you're like me. You have all these pictures, tapes, things you haven't looked at in years, maybe decades in your basement. So if you have those memories of your family trapped on old camcorder tapes or film reels, let's do something about it. Think about your favorite childhood memories that might have been caught on film or videotape. Do you have an easy way to watch it right now? Probably not. They don't even make VCRs anymore, and you don't have a film projector. So let's send everything to Legacy Box. And the process is so easy. You pack and send. Their team digitizes everything by hand, and then you enjoy. Everything is digitized by hand at their secure 8-acre digitizing campus. Right now, if you go to legacybox.com/Mark, you'll get an incredible 40% off your first order. Buy today. Take advantage of this exclusive offer for 97.1 listeners and send it in when you're ready. Go to legacybox.com/Mark and save 40% while supplies last. Hey, it's Mark Reardon for my friends at Zero Res Carpet Cleaning, and spring is here. Think about the dust, the dander, all the nastiness living and breeding in your carpet with nowhere to go. Now, there's a way to get it all out of your home, but you have to do it the right way. That's by calling my cleaning heroes at Zero Res. They have a platinum-rated cleaning system, patented water, fresh and clean. Your home is not going to smell like a janitor's chemical closet. They have the gotta love it guarantee, so you know you're going to be taken great care of. You can even check out the 3,000 plus raving customer reviews online with a 4.9 Google rating and see what all the hype is all about. I've depended on them for years. This month, only get 3 rooms of carpet, Zero Resified, starting at just $129. That's a savings of $20, $50 off the air duct cleaning to get that true spring cleaning feel. You owe it to yourself and your home to breathe healthy, happy, and clean air. Call Zero Res right now, 474-2020, or book online at ZeroResSTL.com and say you want the Mark Reardon KFTK special. Zero Res, you spell it backward or forward, it spells the same.
Have you called Stewie yet to get that home loan refinanced right now? Home loans, $200,000 or more. If your interest rate is currently in the 3s, you need to call Stewie and get that bagel loan started. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. When you reach out to Stewie to do the bagel loan, you get the benefit of no lender fees. With home loans right now at $200,000 or over, no closing costs, no title fees, no costs at all. This is a humongous opportunity right now to save and save big. The rate lowering alone is going to save you money, but when you don't have to go and incur all of the costs that everybody else out there who is in this business has these for you, Stewie set up the entire business model of Stewart's American Mortgage to afford you this opportunity to save a bunch of money because it makes it more competitive for him, and he's very good at helping you with your potential circumstances, whether you want to do a cash out refinance or just a regular refinance on what you owe on your home, or if you're looking for a new home purchase. If it's $200,000 or over, use the bagel loan and save. Call my friend Stewie at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440 and get yourself the bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
97.1 FM Talk is now streaming on the Odyssey app. If you downloaded the radio.com app, you'll see the switch on your phone automatically. The Odyssey app for streaming 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Happy Friday. We're celebrating. It's Friday here. I'm celebrating. We're all celebrating. Katie is just pounding this gigantic coffee that I got her. How much do you have left of this thing? Katie, come on. I'm starting to feel sick.
Pull out clumps of hair.
You're past the medium drunk level of
caffeine
coffee
intake.
here.
I'm trying. This is so stupid. I'm like drinking a sip of water and then drinking the coffee and a sip of water, and it's like I'm taking a
It's a
shot.
chaser.
Yeah,
You're trying to dilute it.
it's so dumb.
It's a venti, skinny, iced caramel macchiato for the people at home who are playing along. Katie, finish that by the end of the show.
I need to go get some ice. I need to go get some ice in the break.
There
That's what I
was
need.
ice in it.
Yep.
You've diluted it.
Still drinking water
Need
to
some
dilute it
ice.
some
And you're
more.
still chasing your iced coffee with water.
Get
My
to that
goodness.
point.
We got Gabe Pfeiffer in studio with us, who is St. John the Philosopher on YouTube. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel and see some of the great content he's putting out. Katie and Ryan as well here. And we haven't discussed today specifically the big news of the week, which is certainly the Derek Chauvin guilty verdict that came out. And I want to play this clip for you. This is a 4-part thing that I'm going to walk us through here, and we'll react to it because, oh my gosh, Brandon Tatum, who has been on the show, he's a friend of the show. He is a Black man. He's a former police officer. He is a co-founder of Blexit. It was a strong vocal supporter of President Trump's. Got booked on BBC World, I think it was, and I'm not 100% sure that BBC didn't look past the color of this man's skin, assuming that he was going to say
I hear they weren't ready.
a specific. Yeah, it's compelling. Listen to Brandon Tatum here as he walks the BBC host through the reaction of the verdict from Derek Chauvin's trial this weekend. And like I said, it's 4 parts.
Former police officer and founder and CEO of the Officer Tatum. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
My pleasure.
So we're going to talk about lots of the wider issues just in a moment. But first of all, just wanted to get your reaction to the conviction.
Well, first of all, I think most of what I heard on the broadcast all the way here is confusing to me. I think we're living in the twilight zone. This conviction, in my personal opinion, did nothing for our country. I mean, people are living a lie. I mean, this was one police officer, one person in the community. They found him guilty. This was the swiftest justice I've ever seen in my life. The day after the film came out, he was arrested. He was tried. 10 hours of deliberation. He was convicted. I'm not really sure why people are acting like this is monumental. Also, he did not get a fair trial, in my personal opinion. There was a lot of obstruction that happened. They paid the family out $27 million before the jury could be selected. I mean, they're going to have a case in appeal. So I don't know why people are celebrating, and I don't know why this is such a big focal point, other than people are making money off of the pain of people in our country.
People making money off the pain of the people in our country. Yeah. So like I said, this is a 4-parter. That's part number 1. When he's talking here about a fair trial, that is a concern that a lot of people have. A lot of people have commented on it. Props to Katie, because we have Alan Dershowitz coming on the show on Monday, who has been very outspoken about the fact that Maxine Waters and Joe Biden, and among many other things, have given an appeal process a lot of strength going out of this. What is this? I mean, I said this yesterday, I guess it was yesterday, the lack of riots or violence or, protesting turned ugly late at night that hasn't occurred in Minneapolis the way I kind of thought, no matter what it would. So I want to give credit where credit is due in that regard. Like, I guess we're high-fiving people for not rioting now. We are at this point in time.
Boy. Yeah.
However, I will caution people on the idea of an appeal process. If this goes through the appeal process and this verdict gets overturned, that's going to be bad news for a lot of people across this country. Let's listen here to the second part of this interview.
So you're objecting firstly to some of the things that happened around the trial, which now that there is a conviction, I think we should probably park that. But secondly, you're upset that there's a amalgamation here of a wider sense of a landmark case and this one specific court case.
Yeah, this is not a landmark case. I think this is a political agenda. They're pushing lies in our country. Policing in America is not inherently racist. We don't live in a racist country. This was an interaction between a police officer that I thought did the wrong thing and a Black man who was on drugs, high, resisting arrest, and ended up being killed by that police officer. That's as simple as it can be. The president of the United States got out and made a fool of himself trying to promote racism in a simple police encounter that the officer got convicted on.
So you
I don't know of any case that officer-
you reject President Biden's comments about systemic racism and it being a stain on the whole nation.
Yes, President Biden is an idiot, in my personal opinion.
I mean, the things that are being said here are bold, but the thought of BBC going, let's just get him on. He's a police officer. He's a black man. We'll get his thoughts. And if they didn't look him up and know this was coming, there's no way that they couldn't have researched even the last probably 60 minutes of his Twitter feed.
I'm not sure we quite thought this one through.
I have to quote Adrian on the Annie Fry YouTube channel says, I love Gabe's facial expressions. They're watching you, Gabe. For sure. Listen, there's more. But wait, there's more.
He's just talking because he's a politician. Systemic racism. I mean, if you look at Joe Biden himself, you know, he spoke at a Ku Klux Klan member's funeral and did the eulogy of Robert Byrd. I mean, he is white supremacy and racism. If you want to say that is the case, and now he's the president. So if he really cared about white supremacy and racism, he should step down as the president because he's an exemplification of that very thing. These people are just running their mouth and they're not being honest. We don't have a problem with racism in our country. We have a problem with people not following the law. We also have a problem with politicians making up things so they can get reelected. And that's exactly what has been happening. That's why you never see anything change. They're lying to us.
So, you know, I'll go back to the thing that he said, too, in the clip before that. He said, what we see here is a police officer who did the wrong thing. This is not Brandon Tatum, who is a black man who is a former police officer, making excuses for Derek Chauvin. This is not a Derek Chauvin is an innocent man and is being smeared for this. This is Brandon Tatum calling out the commerce that it comes around, the hurt and the pain that people in the African-American community feel, people in the Back the Blue community feel, and that all of us who are watching this, if you're not immediately related to one of those two camps, the vast majority of us are sitting around going, we want to do the right thing here. We want this to stop. We want to mend the problem that exists here. And Brandon Tatum is rightfully calling out and saying, no, there are hucksters out here on both sides of this issue working hard to divide us. Last part.
People being killed by police the rate is higher amongst black people than amongst the rest of the population. How do you account for that if that isn't a systemic racism problem?
Yeah, first of all, that's not true. Twice as many white people go killed by police every year. Twice as many white people are killed unarmed by police every year. You just don't see it. There's a gentleman named Tony Tempa. I guarantee you anybody watching me have no idea who Tony Tempa is. Tony Tempa was murdered in the same fashion that George Floyd was killed. But because he was white, we don't hear about it and nobody cares about it. Nobody's talking about police reform when he was suffocated and killed, but they only talk about it because George Floyd is black. Black people commit over half of violent crimes in this country and only make up 13% of the population. They commit over half of the murders in this country, but only make up 13% of the population. And we can agree that 13% of the population aren't the criminals. There's only a small fraction of the black community that's doing this. So that explains why police are in the black communities more. And that explains why black people are incarcerated more. They are making up lies saying that it has anything to do with racism. Do you understand that there's black police officers too that patrol in many of these majority black cities? Are they racist? No, that's not the case. They're just making these things up, in my personal opinion, and they're riding a wave of dead black people in order to make money and be politically and get political leverage.
Brandon Tatum, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Come again soon.
Thank you, Ambassador Tatum.
When you listen to what Brandon Tatum is saying there and speaking so clearly on this specific issue and boldly, without any fear or trepidation in his voice, I have to think that he reached some people in that interview that the Matrix was not designed for him to reach those people in that moment in time. And I think it's impactful. The other thing that I wish we would focus on is, you know, his statistic, 13% of our country is comprised of African Americans, individuals. And if there is a higher percentage of crime being committed from those communities. He's like, it's not all 13% of the, like, it is a small percentage of that 13%. What is consistent in the communities of where that concentrated portion of that 13%? What is the consistency there that's causing people to commit crime at a higher rate, that's giving people the idea to devalue life, to devalue property, to devalue opportunity? Are there consistencies there? Oh, you bet there are consistencies there. Gabe, I want to give you the opportunity to react to that here real quick. We're going to go a little bit long in this segment, but I want you to talk on this and speak on this because you hadn't heard that yet.
Oh yeah, I just kept imagining, Brandon Tatum in there, in a prize fight basically, and each one of those segments was, a flurry to the face, and then a gut shot to end it, and he, because he was spot on, he kept punching at the inconsistencies, the illogical premises, the falsehoods, all of this edifice of this narrative that exists out there to create the racial division and the chaos that we're seeing in the streets right now. And like he said, it's all based on, people trying to grift, first of all, the people who live off of racial grievance, and then of course political advantage, and the Democrats kind of live on the racial grievance from a political standpoint. Basically, whenever there's a situation like this, you have to look at who benefits from the division, who benefits from the craziness that goes on there, and it's only one side of the aisle.
And it is status quo.
Yeah.
We have Ask Me Anything when we come back. I've never done this before. I'm going to ask Gabe a specific question. I'm going to ask him right now and give him the break to think on it.
Okay.
And respond to my first question for Ask Me Anything. If you have questions, you can comment them on the Facebook Live, facebook.com/Annie Show, or the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Send them in. We'll get as many as we can. Gabe, the question I want you to answer first when we come back is, what should the Republican Party be doing right now to reach out to Black America that they aren't? Because I think that there are probably a lot of possibilities to that answer.
Yes.
Gabe will answer that question when we come back, and then we'll ask each other other questions that are way less important. They probably have to do with like pickles and shoelaces. I don't even know. Those are the Ryan's questions, I think. Ryan, I need a question that ties together pickles and shoelaces.
Working on it.
All right, write it down. I mean, this is a must-hear segment, folks. Coming up next. So go away.
Darling, so come go with me. Yes, I need you. Yes, I do need you.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Lakeside Renovation and Design is the trusted name in St. Louis, in Missouri, in Illinois for full-scale remodels, transforming your home inside and out. Whatever you need done at your house, if you want it done professionally, if you want it done on time, if you want the finest that St. Louis has to offer in employees, over 100 employees at Lakeside. This is very uncommon for a lot of places who do this type of business, contract out a lot of stuff, and it's kind of a revolving door of people. Not at Lakeside. They put behind their work a lifetime workmanship warranty that is added on to the manufacturer's warranty because they're so confident in their work. They want to make that commitment to you when you call them to schedule an appointment to talk about what you're going to transform in your house. A lot of people have been looking to move and maybe just not finding the right thing or at the right price. If you are looking to turn your house into more of a home with a renovation of your kitchen, your basement, or your bathroom, you need Lakeside Renovation and Design on your team, and they are waiting for your phone call. 636-978-5000. That's 636-978-5000. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. You will not be disappointed in the result, I promise. Online at lakesidерenovationanddesign.com.
Time for a weather update, and yup, there's still weather outside. It's a temperature. It could rain or not. It's either hot or cold, so wear a jacket or don't. Anyway, good luck.
Unclear information isn't helpful, which is why when your car needs repair, head to Meineke Car Care Centers. With Meineke e-Inspection, we'll send photos and technician notes straight to your phone, telling you what should be fixed and why. Get a basic oil change starting at $19.95. Meineke, doing car care right. At participating locations, terms and conditions apply.
Spring is a great time to upgrade the energy efficiency in your home with new windows. Mark Cox here from my friends at Window World. I'm a satisfied customer. You will be too. Call them today for a free home estimate. They'll show you why they are simply the best for less. Window World windows are so durable. They stand behind their windows with a lifetime warranty that covers all parts and glass breakage and labor. They were ranked #1 in windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine, and they're the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. Window World does great work, as they did in my home when they replaced 2 large bathroom windows. They measured them, they built them, and got them installed in no time. You will love working with my friends over at Window World. They're now offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. Call them today at 314-993-1800, 993-1800, or windowworld.com.
From Pineapple Street Studios, My Fugitive is a new podcast about secrets, like a Cold War spy ring.
In fact, within the Bureau itself, you probably had less than a dozen and a half people at any one time who knew about the thing.
New episodes of My Fugitive are available every week wherever you get your podcasts. But why wait? Binge every episode now, exclusively on the new Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
At Coleman's Campers, we are proud to provide you with the best value for your hard-earned dollar. Whether you're shopping for your first camper or your next camper, we have options to fit your taste and budget. Come in today and start making memories tomorrow. Coleman's Campers in Hartford, Illinois, where customers become friends.
The latest local forecast and severe weather coverage you can count on from the name in St. Louis weather.
This is 97.1's Chief Meteorologist, Dave Murray.
On 97.1 FM Talk, powered by Air Comfort Service.
Is this just an illusion?
Welcome back to the Eddie Fry Show. I'm going to say real quick, we were trying on the break to decide how to turn the rest of the show into a drinking game for Katie. Because I bought her the largest coffee that I could get at Starbucks. And I want to say, every time we play the wrong song in a break, you have to finish your drink. This is not the right song. This was supposed to be Miranda Lambert and Elle King.
What the heck?
I don't know. The song was, and the song is called Drunk.
Oh no!
It's a good song.
I'll be able to get it up by the end of this segment. I got it, but I won't be chugging.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. The song's called Drunk and I Don't Want to Go Home. And I said, Katie, I want to karaoke this song with her one day when I am drunk and I don't want to go home, which seems like it might be forever from now. But it's a fantastic song. And I sent it to Katie. She's like, oh, I love this song. I'm like, of course you know this song before I do because you know everything before I do.
All the music.
I do love this song.
All the music.
It's so great.
All right. You want to do the Ask Me Anything?
If you have anything to ask me, just go ahead.
I want the truth.
Say it.
Thank you for your honesty.
You can't handle the truth. And the truth shall set you free.
All right. I teased it when we went to the break. The first question goes directly to Gabe.
Yes.
As a Christian, conservative black man, I'm asking you specifically, what is the Republican Party not doing right now that they absolutely should to be getting their message effectively to a community that they have not reached for a long time?
Basically, we need community organizers, and I hate to say it that way, but ultimately, the major difference I think between what conservatives and liberals do in terms of engaging, particularly minority communities, is liberals make sure that they have a presence, that they have a gigantic footprint in the communities, that everybody knows who they are. So when Lucy comes around looking for to sign people up for the bus to go to the polls, he's like, oh, I know Lucy. Lucy's the one who helped me, find, job training or whatever. I don't know. But Republicans need to be more present in that regard.
And why is it that they're not?
Because they've given up, essentially. There's the liberals, the Democrats in particular, have managed to paint conservatives as hateful, and so much so that basically if you show up in these neighborhoods with any sort of branding, essentially as a Republican or a known entity on the right, then you're automatically looked at with suspicion, and you're not going to get any cooperation. So then, out of frustration or out of trying to cut losses, or basically making the immediate calculation that, well, we don't want to waste effort here, we don't want to waste political donations here, they just move on, and we've abandoned the places where Black people are, which is the cities. They've been run by Democrats since forever, right?
And real quick, what's the message? Like, give me the elevator speech, because if you're going to grab someone's attention, you're going to show up and you're like, hi, I'm Gabe from the Republican Party. They're going to be like, no, you're not. Slam the door. If you take the time to show up on someone's door and have a conversation, what does that conversation quickly need to entail?
It needs to be that if you want a government that gets out of your way, that doesn't want to micromanage your life, that wants to promote you to do the best that you possibly can to create opportunities in your neighborhood, around your block, then we're the ones for you. And that's really what it is, because the Trump attempt to do opportunity zones and things like that those things were wildly popular among African Americans, in comparison to other things. And I think those types of initiatives by Republicans, basically saying that, guess what, capitalism is for you. The system here is for you. It's not against you, it's for you. Let me show you how to leverage it. That message would go far and wide, I think.
And the alternative to capitalism is the Democrats, who have consistently delivered a message of, you just stay here, I got this for you.
Yeah. They want to give you just enough to keep you where you are.
To Donald Trump's credit, what do you have to lose? I mean, he literally said that, and he's right. You've got the same Democrats in these same areas that promise the same thing all the time, and nothing changes.
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? Yeah. Ryan, you got a question for the group, or for somebody?
I do. I'm actually going to ask a question from our stream from Facebook. This is from Chris. I thought it was a great question. I wrote it down. What constitutional amendment would you make if you could create one out of thin air? And just to give you a moment to think, I'll answer that question. I do believe that we should try across the board, state level, federal level, everywhere, to try to have a balanced budget amendment.
Stole it.
Gotcha.
So we have a motion in a second.
Yes, in a second.
All in favor.
It's done. It's law.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
And I think it should include one of the shenanigans that I've seen that goes on in budget. Yeah, the shenanigans. That's one of my favorite words.
Shenaniganery. I think I made that up, but that's my favorite.
That's shenanigans and chicanery. Just kind of. Yeah.
I think chicanery is actually a real word. I'm not so sure that mine is.
No, it's just. It's mushed. But I think one of the things that I've seen done is that they basically make a projection of what the future income is going to be for the government, and then base their budget on that. Mm-hmm. And I would, as part of that initiative, as that balanced budget initiative, was that they would have to use a previous previous like 5-year average or something like that to balance.
Yes.
So then you can't say, well, I think the economy is going to grow 10%, so then our taxes are going to be this much, and we're going to balance our budget against that high number. No, you have to balance backwards.
I am not all in on this, but at this point, I too am asking myself, what do you have to lose and what do you have to gain? I do believe that the idea of term limits would be one of the most drastic changes to how our country is run, and it would be the fastest way to give it back to the people.
Drain the swamp.
Now, I also think that I might regret that decision. But because I believe if you have somebody representing you and you love that person and they're doing great, why should they have to stop? At the same time, we get new fresh blood in Washington, D.C. all the time, but they don't scratch the surface. It's the same people running the same thing all the time. And at this point in time, I'm thinking term limits would be a huge difference maker in how our country is run and who becomes interested in running to represent the people of this country. So term limits. Katie?
That is I'm answering this question very honestly. I don't know what the hell I would do, because the word amendment sounds like a really
That's too much power, huh?
Yeah, that sounds like a very, very
what about
heavy thing.
Katie looked at that Infinity Stone and said, "I'm gonna die if I touch it."
I don't know.
The word triggered illegal to use. You can say whatever you want, Katie.
I don't know. That is a very heavy situation to put myself in. I have never thought about something like that before, ever. So I don't have an answer. And I'm
That's honest.
Meet
That's
Katie
honest.
At Seamus O'Seamus is this Saturday. That's my amendment. Anything you want.
Anything you want. No,
You
I
can
don't
come
want
back. You can come back with something later if you come up with something. I have a feeling that's possible. What's your question, Katie?
What is an easy word that is always hard for you to say?
Shenaniganery.
Shenaniganery.
No, Jason Chaffetz. That's a hard one.
I thought of this because on Odyssey, we have this really cool feature. It's the rewind feature. So you can go back and listen to something spot on, right in the middle or right from the beginning.
Are you being paid to say this right now?
I'm not, but it sparked my interest whenever you said, did you send
Is
out
Steve Moore in the room right now?
He is.
This segment brought to you by
Get out of here. But I have the hardest time saying rewind. When I'm
rewind.
It's so tough. You asked me
rewind.
today and you're like, did you
Rewind.
send that rewind link out? And I'm like,
Drink more coffee.
And I'm like,
Drink more coffee. Drink more coffee. Katie
She
just
can't drink when she's laughing, guys.
This is
Take it
why I
easy.
got it for you. You were supposed to finish it, so this is how we started the show, and the whole rest of it would have been a lot easier for me to do. We just make fun of you for 3 hours.
It's a beautiful life.
Katie.
Yes.
It's a beautiful life.
Oh man.
So that's for me. That's what's happening in my world.
Ooh, Devin online says Wednesday. That's a good one.
Well, that's not how
Wednesday.
you say it.
Wednesday.
I know, but
Wednesday is hard, Devin. You have a hard time saying Wednesday?
oh man, doesn't your brain do backflips when you see it written and you try to read it as you're supposed to read it? Oh, that drives me crazy.
My brain can handle Wednesday.
I've
Don't have any trouble with that.
I guess you are superior.
It
Then.
also gets a rewind.
I don't really know that that's a level of superiority. Wednesday.
After having watched myself go through my script from my last video over and over and over again as I edited the thing, there are so many words.
Yeah.
There are so many words that I could not say, so I couldn't pick one. But hey, guys, why don't you go watch and tell me which words I moved
Yeah, tell us what words we have to say.
So I'm just saying. It's
Janet
you can
on
turn it into a
YouTube
game.
says rural. That is a hard word to say.
Rural.
I tried to say real clear politics to Tammy Bruce, and you can go rewind that on the Odyssey app at 12:25 and put a rose on Katie's nose over there. Real clear politics was real difficult for me to say before. Hans von Spakovsky is one that when I was doing Saturdays. Oh, by the way, today is the 3-year anniversary of the show being on middays. I just
Woo! Oh!
Yay! I need to sign a contract to make it longer.
Yay!
Yay! I had to the first time I had Hans von Spakovsky on. Frank Ladd was my producer on the weekend, and he booked him. I'm like, this is not a real person. You're punking me. Hans von Spakovsky. I am not qualified to speak to a Hans von Spakovsky. And how the heck do you say this name? And then we got Jason Chaffetz on. Katie got that. And I was like, before the interview starts, like Jason Chaffetz. I had to spit the word out, and it was very difficult.
Honestly,
also Beto O'Rourke is apparently hard for me.
O'Rourke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jewelry.
Yep. No, but Hans von Spakovsky, I can't say it fast. Hans von Spakovsky.
Yeah, you got to practice.
Sounds like he has like 4 or 5 titles in English.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Baron.
Yeah.
Shouldn't he be Sir?
Baron?
Yes.
Yes. What land do you hail from, Hans?
Yes.
He needs a cape.
Lord of the Protectorate of so and so.
The Constitution. At least we have one.
And it's even his title, Senior Legal Fellow.
Yes.
Fellow.
Yes.
Am I a fella? What is? Can a female be a fellow? A felon.
Not a felon.
Okay.
It's not felon.
Hi, I'm a senior legal felon from the Andy Fry Show, and I'm here to sign my contract.
That's the guy. That's the guy who got his degree in prison. The senior legal felon.
Did everybody ask a question? You didn't get.
No, I didn't yet.
All right, we'll
kind of piggybacking on my real or fake. How has the way you consumed news changed since basically
I
you
hate myself
started
more.
you started doing news?
Yeah.
Looking at it
I
seriously.
really detest the existence that I have from time to time. Like last night, seriously, last night, my husband and I finally got all the kids to bed. The gas got shut off to like 500 people in my neighborhood, and we had to wait for that to get. So we finally got everything back up and running after 11 o'clock. And I turned on Tucker because I like to watch and get his take on the day's news. And I'm like, this is pissing me off so much. I can't do this. I'm not doing it. So we just turned it off. And it wasn't Tucker was right, but I was like, I can't do this right now. People are losing their minds, and I'm going to now be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you don't do that to the show. I'm trying real hard to come up with ways to touch base on the news and know what's going on. I think that's the hardest thing is how do you know what's going on and stay informed and not become so consumed that it brings you down?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. When I was younger, I guess, back in the day, I used to, even though I recognized that they were kind of propagandizing me on some level, like I kind of got that. Once I started getting into politics and the news at the same time, I saw the bias. Like I got that. But I generally approached it with the idea that they were basically telling me true things. They were just spinning it a certain way. Spin.
You just got to pick out which
spin was the thing at the time that we had to watch for. Watch for the spin. But now I find myself not even trusting the hard information that they're conveying.
Yeah.
You're like, is this, I read something and I ask myself specifically, is this true? And I go to find out whether or not the actual factual claim they were making was true first before I even consider anything that they commented about around it.
Katie, real quick, what about you?
I think whenever I was going through school, which I graduated in 2016, something that was such a heavy emphasis on journalism and news and the way you consume media was just like, always keep your principles, always keep your ethics. That has to be the forefront of your brain whenever you are consuming, but whenever you're behind a microphone, whenever you are on air.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is something that has quickly vanished, kind of along the points that you're saying. In the short time that from 2016 to 2021, I have seen no one have any dignity anymore in their job and what it stood for and the truth of it all.
Yeah, integrity, pride,
It's all
truth.
About
your truth.
It's all about the ratings now. It's all about it's a selfish endeavor instead of being what journalism used to be about, a selfless endeavor.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that's rapidly changed that we need to absolutely get back to.
Yeah.
What about you, real quick, Ryan, before we get to the break?
Just if there's a big story and everybody's talking about something and you have absolutely no interest in it, but knowing that you have to address it the next day, that's just dumb. And you got to find out what it's about anyway.
I have recently decided that if I can't stomach talking about it, I will talk about something else.
I've noticed that.
And I do that because if I feel like I'm over my limit on certain things, chances are you are too. And here's the other thing. If everywhere else you're consuming news is talking about this one thing, how selfish of me to be like, but wait, you don't know what I think about this. There's got to be other things out there to discuss. And sometimes it's as simple as trying to figure out how to say the word Wednesday for some folks. Wednesday.
For some folks.
Wednesday.
Beto or
folks. Beto O'Rourke. O'Rourke. We have a listener whose last name was O'Rourke, and she's like, "You definitely say it wrong." And I was like, "Crap!"
Oh, great.
Was looking for a little support here, and I didn't get it. All right, there's my song, Katie. Let's get 200 people on the live stream right now, and then Katie promises to chug her drink. I didn't ask her about that. I didn't ask her, but maybe if you all join the Annie Fry YouTube channel right now, and we get over 200 people conjoined watching, we have 102 right now. Then we can peer pressure Katie into making some bad decisions.
Yeah.
No.
And we'll boycott her if she doesn't.
We'll be right back. Drink.
I'm talking about you.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Get guaranteed hours year-round and up to $25,000 signing bonus and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
You've heard it's a seller's market, and yes, that makes it a great time to sell your home. Hey, it's Mark Cox here, and like every home seller, I want you to sell for the most money with the least stress. That's easy. Just call Gloria Liu with GL International Realty, part of Coldwell Banker Premier Group. Gloria is St. Louis real estate authority with an outstanding team that sells twice as fast for about 3% more money than other realtors. That's about $12,000 more on a $400,000 home. Gloria's unique marketing system showcases your home to her exclusive pool of over 9,000 ready buyers, resulting in increased demand and strong offers. Gloria Liu's sellers love working with her. They gladly refer to friends because they know Gloria guarantees to sell your home at your agreed to price, or she'll buy it herself. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. Go to igotfloored.com and see the reason why Michael's is winning in the flooring business in St. Louis and has been for a very long time. When you want the intersection of quality, of value, and of customer service, there's only one choice for you, and that's Michael's Flooring Outlet. If you are looking for carpeting in your home, which I will be looking for soon, trying to figure out the timing on it with the kiddos in the house, our upstairs carpet is a mess, and we definitely need to replace it. And so we will be going to Michael's Flooring Outlet to see about their, Mohawk Smart Strand Forever Clean with All Pet. We've got a dog that loves being upstairs, and, messes happen and you got to clean it up. And if your flooring is prepared for that, it makes it a lot easier, a lot cleaner, and a lot safer for the family. When you are looking for quality products, when you're looking for great customer service, and of course, you're looking for value for your hard-earned dollar, look no further than Michael's Flooring Outlet. Find them online at igotfloored.com.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. Music that moves you. Odyssey brings you music from stations across the country and across all genres. Top 40 to country, rock to R&B, alternative to classic hits. It's all here. No matter what you're feeling, Odyssey has music for every moment. AUDACY. Find all the music that matters to you in a universe of audio. Odyssey.
Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law online at beckelderlaw.com, where you go to make sure that your long-term care plan is fully in place. Now you're saying, Annie, long-term care plan, what are we talking about here? A long-term care plan includes your health care when you can't care for yourself or when you can't fully care for your significant other, your spouse, or maybe it's mom or dad. You need to make sure that you have the monthly funds to bridge the gap between private funds and the cost to live in a community, like an independent assisted living, a licensed assisted living community. Whatever your expectation is for this stage of life, whether it's yours or, like I said, your parents or significant other, it is very costly. Assisted living communities are almost 100% private pay, and this can include long-term care insurance, savings, etc. Get the experts behind you to make sure that you are fully prepared for this stage of life so that you can enjoy every minute of the time that you have together and enjoy the best of care. Call their office today to schedule an appointment, 636-946-7899, and ask about their long-term care planning help. beckelderlaw.com.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss America 2020 Camille Schreier. Join me in support of the DEA's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 24th. Please get rid of the unused or expired prescriptions in your medicine cabinet. They could end up lost, stolen, or simply misused. Protect your family and our communities, and let's all keep prescription drugs out of the wrong hands. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. That's DEATakeback.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
I feel very comfortable in telling a teacher what they should do in an effort to get the kids back in the classroom. After that, you can take it. You can be as woke as you want to be.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm smiling, she lives and she goes and she lives for me. Said she lives for me, ovation. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Make you wanna holler. Hi-ho. Burns your tummy, don't you know?
Drink.
Chug-a-lug,
On the
chug-a-lug.
YouTube channel, Mark, also known as Katie's dad, said, Katie, don't throw up on air. Dad, it's not going down well. I said we had to get 200 people streaming total. We are not there yet. So you do not have an obligation. And it's also something I said on air without asking you first if it was okay. So, I mean, there's probably something ethical involved in there.
Legalities.
And there's a reason to play Chug-a-Lug.
Chug-a-lug. Make you wanna holler. Hi-ho.
This is a great song. This is a classic. They don't make them like they used to. Can you imagine if, like, Drake came out with a song like this right now?
It would be number one.
It would
Right?
It'd be a
It should be.
TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
TikTok.
There'd be a TikTok. There'd be a whole dance.
Hi, Carl.
Yes.
Hi, Annie. You want to do it real quick? Annie, are you okay?
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay
Let's
with
just start
This?
talking so Katie can cut you off. Yeah. She's kind of hyped up here. No, I'm good.
Little caffeine.
Shall we start with something local or something from an evil corporation?
You're in charge.
Ooh. Gabe,
you're
like
you're talking about Google?
No, the other
Be
one.
more specific.
Amazon.
Amazon or Apple. Yeah, there you go. There are three.
Amazon is bringing palm scanning payment system to Whole Foods in Seattle to try it out nationally.
Palm scanning. Is that is your palm like a fingerprint?
Yeah.
Why not just use your fingerprint? Because then it's not your fingerprint?
Is it more accurate if you
That is a wonderful question that I do not have an answer for, Annie.
Maybe they don't want, maybe they think that if you use your palm, that your palm, like if you say you're going to like register your fingerprints on something, that's a step.
I think also that you don't have to touch it. I think you're holding your palm over it. And so it's a bigger surface.
It's like magic.
Well, and also you can transition more easily to going for the mark on the hand.
I'm just going to put it on my forehead. I'm going to skip the hand.
Anybody who reads the Bible knows what I'm talking about.
Jackie says, let's vote with the fingerprint. There's a step.
Gabe throwing out some Bibles on us.
That's what he does.
Just the mark of the beast.
That's
It's
how
no
we
big.
do.
No big.
I thought the mark of the beast could be anywhere.
Forehead or back of the hand.
As long as it's something that like you can choose to participate in or not. Whatever.
Well, yeah, you don't have to. It's not like as soon as you walk into a Whole Foods, they're gonna make you put your palm out.
Not yet.
What's the purpose?
You sound very skeptical, Gabe. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
All right. Gabe, did you show Katie your vaccine passport when you came into the studio?
I want to see your papers.
I want to see it.
Homeschool students in the state of Missouri could participate in public school activities under a new proposed law.
What kind of activities?
So,
They're paying
Representative
taxes, folks. They're paying their same taxes.
Josh Hulbert in Smithville says that homeschool students in more populated areas like here have much more opportunity, but those in rural areas struggle to be involved with sports, music, debate. The sticking point with this is if you don't allow these kids to do it, it would strip all funding from the high school.
Fine with it.
So, but they're all the other side of the coin is they could recruit, like, because this could be for sports, for debate, for theater.
Oh yeah,
and they're saying
the competitive things.
they
yeah.
could recruit, and then there will be lawsuits. So they're thinking ahead
The ringers.
to make. Yeah, exactly. So
I'm fine with
You,
it.
you definitely
Make
want to
it so.
recruit the homeschool kids for debate.
This is the way.
You
exactly.
definitely would- that your team would be
I
all
thought we were
homeschool kids.
boycotting Disney.
Oh no, we're not. What, Katie, Carl, what show have you been listening to? Is that Mark Reardon?
Only half listening.
No, I heard debate, and I heard Disney, and I heard boycott. Just not in that order.
You know that on the Odyssey app, you can rewind. Katie, you want to tell them a little about this?
You
The
can
rewind feature on the Odyssey app.
That I don't know why, but that word is so difficult for me to say, especially quickly when I'm trying to relay
Chimley?
the message to you.
Lord Hans von Spakovsky orders it.
Drink.
And Annie, are you okay with Pizzly bears, which would be polar bears mating with grizzly bears? Pizzly bears?
I'm certainly not going to get it. I'm certainly not going to get in the middle of that.
Oh wow!
And stop that from happening.
On a Friday, say goodbye.
All right. Thanks for watching on the YouTube channel. If you're there, make sure you subscribe on the Facebook page. Make sure you like it. Go to that gross orange post and tell us how many of those nasty things you've eaten. I've only eaten 2, and you can join the 20,000 comments that we have on there right now. It's unbelievable. Mark Reardon Show coming up next. Do not change the channel.
So beat the drum.